Good morning and welcome to Hits Afrik Radio as another edition of the News Summary UK. And as usual, just how we do it, as a summary of the whole week events, which, we bring to our listeners, especially those who are very fond of political issues in Ghana. My name is Dr. MORTON. You can share the link and then we will take it from there. I'd like to say thank you very much to everyone who has actually tuned in. And then we're going to start the show very, very soon.
Try. So first to the fight, baby, I will hold you. I keep your heart, girl, never let you go. Black jersey on the beat. Oh, no, can't promise. That's a dead medicine and you got your swamp. Just about him, I will get media. I hold my woody with it from the swamp. On a board, I'm a beer. They can't sumo me saw. In lobby care, can me back home. They can't sumo me coco dog. Sumo me saw. In lobby care, can me back home. They can't sumo me coco dog. Sumo me saw. In lobby care, can me back home. They can't sumo me coco dog. Sumo me saw. In lobby care, can me back home. They can't sumo.
Right. So we're just about to share the program so that everybody would, follow us just as we do. But hello, Sabato.
Salam alaikum, Openi.
Good morning, sir.
Doctor, next time.
Bibia Boko. One mama pick you online. You are live on air.
Oh, okay.
Well, so it doesn't matter. We can still talk. Don't worry. At least you're fortunate to have come on the show this morning. Now, say, we can send out me, especially. It looks like you have a lot to say. Person can be apart from Sikano,
yes, I am available for now, so that's why I wanted
you're lucky to be the first on the show anyway. Perhaps is a means to open is another strategy to actually get on the show. And, it's the same thing. Anyway, so this week, how was your week?
Well, not too bad. It's going on well.
Right.
Yeah, it's going on well. Work. But the kids are home as well, so we need to find a space for them as well. Which at the moment we are doing that. So yeah.
Okay. So, Lily, the country is in chaos. We've seen not too long ago, we battled with Nana Akufo-Addo's expensive use of the private jet and all that. We spoke about that. That is gone. I believe that hopefully he's going to get on a commercial flight. We've spoken about his concern as to the people that were gunned down over the election. And then he couldn't say anything about it. These are bits of issues which I believe has become more of something to battle over. But we're looking at the debt that has cropped up today. If you look at the previous news items I sent you as the summary, over 2 million Ghana cedis. That's the audit report. Now, you think this makes it worse? And I say we still have to give the man a chance to operator. Now we need questions as to why the coffers is being drained that much. Good morning to everyone. I've got Sabato on the line, who's I'm going to start off with the issue. So Sabato, you're live on air. Can be Kasebiano. You're welcome.
Oh, thank you, Doctor. Before I'll start, let me say good morning to you.
Good morning,
listeners and your viewers as well. And to start from our party, the NDC.
Okay.
Doctor, at the moment we are registering, and the registration is opening to anybody. I mean, everyone who think that I want to belong to the NDC.
Okay.
It's not about people who are within the NDC. No. Even if you are in any party, whether it's PPP, PPP, MPP, and you think that your party is not doing well for you, you don't know where they are going, where they are towards in, you don't know their ideologies and so forth, then the only party to join at the moment is the great MPP, is the great NDC, the Akatamanso party.
Okay.
So clearly, we started some branch elections in some parts in Ghana, which was very successful. I hope you didn't heard of any fly at all. You didn't even notice that there is some branch election going on because this time we sit down, we organize the thing proper. Yeah. And at the moment, the registration is within two areas, that's Eastern region and Ashanti region,
right?
In which the party executive are trying so hard to make sure that we register people with a different background. Because in some cases in Ashanti region, Doctor, there are cases that we found out that party chairman and his wife, his children are the party executives.
Right.
So you can go to the election and within same police station, none of them will vote for NDC.
Right.
So these are the things that the party executive said and thought of to make sure that going forward we will not encounter those such issues again. And also, at the moment, if you go to New Edubiase, my own constituency, my hometown, the lovely town called New Edubiase,
right.
There are a lot of party executives there who are making sure that the registration in there will be going and then will be very successful. But at the moment, it's going on well. Everything is online. There are some party executives from Ashanti region and both the region as well, national. They are all there for the past they will be spending, I think, 10 days over there just to make sure that the registration is going on very successfully.
Okay.
Doctor, we're within the NTC as well. For the past 3 days ago, and we had a forum about all the lawyers in Ghana who are affiliated to NDC.
Okay.
They came together and they met somewhere in Adan or somewhere. Yeah, I think in Adan. And it was lawyers, more than maybe 200 lawyers. They wanted to plan ahead election 2024 and also to organize themselves about the other issues confronting NDC MPs whom they have been challenged in the court for the previous election. So they went there to discuss all this. And I think it was very important that they do that because at the moment, maybe in the election 2024, we may need some of these lawyers within our polling station to make sure that law and orders and things that is not appropriate being right and maybe the laws and blah, blah. Like we said, we need to win the next election from the police station. So for us to have our lawyers organizing themselves towards that, and also the cases that involve some of our MPs in court, how they're going to fight it, how they're going to deal with it.
Okay.
And if you may recall, it was that when John Dramani Mahama, our leader, said about how we may need a new leader from the Supreme Court or the judiciary, just to bring credibility, because at the moment the judiciary don't have a credibility. And as you may recall, that has become a brouhaha. People were talking about the former president bringing our democracy into dispute or something like that. And then, but clearly, these are things that a lot of people have said already. Someone like a minister of security, Kandapa, was one day said it in front of them that, look, a man for the Asambana, Sedebia, a 7 nail, a 9 nailer, the people will not have confidence in the democracy anymore, or they won't have the confidence within the judiciary, so they will take the matters into their hands. And for him, as a minister of security, he thinks that is not helping to develop a democracy. And from then also, we notice about CDD, some of civil society or some savers who they do, it came out to say that at the moment, Ghanaians don't have confidence in the judiciary, and their numbers has dropped, and that's a big threat to the democracy that we are building. So clearly, it wasn't only the former president who stood up to say something about them. These are things that a lot of people have said, and without people saying anything against them. But we don't know why. But of course, it's allowed, because at the moment you can see that NDC is the alternative party waiting in government. The party that are organized, the party without any misunderstanding, as we are organizing our branch election and so forth.
Now let me ask you this, Sabato, since you've decided to start off, if not to say campaigning for the NDC, I'd like to know, you're still coming on with John Dramani Mahama, the man who has been leading the party, for the past years. What I want to know is, do you struggle with power intake as to who else would have challenged Mahama, like Spio Gabra and Dr. Dufour, and quite a few people? Do you think, is there any sanity with respect to peace in the party? Because I don't see that, and you are coming right from it. So obviously you should tell us if there's any, as you said, you don't have any internal power wrangling in the party, do you?
Yeah, Doctor, you may notice, or you may heard of Dr. Dufour's interest, although he has not announced it anywhere that he wants to contest the party. But all the indications shows clearly that he's preparing himself, and for you to think of the things that he has bought. And the last time they delivered some to my constituency, New Dubiase, with the systems, chairs, and I think canopies as well, which for him, he thinks he needs to donate those to the party, so that the party, if they need those kind of equipment, they can help themselves with, or we can even hire them and to bring money to the party, so that we can run the party activities with. But Doctor, it's not a bad idea, and it's not the first person to be doing this. We all know party is allowed for party donor. So for him to do that, it's not bad. We know the intention behind. Clearly, that was the reason why he didn't want to give it to the party, and to make sure that the party use it. That's the reason. The reason why we are not happy with him is that for him to organize his own people, auditors and blah blah, to be following and check whether it's being used, that's where we have an issue with. But John Dramani Mahama at the moment, if you may call, he was our former leader. He was a former president. So any gathering that we do, you call such person to come and speak on behalf of the leadership. And that is clear. But he has not stand anywhere to say that maybe he will stand back. We all know that at the moment he stands tall more than anybody, even if election is held today in Ghana in terms of general election. Same within our party as well. If election held and John Dramani Mahama say, "Oh, I want to put my name down," he stands tall. So for me, I don't think that is a debatable. Whoever wants to come and contest is allowed to come and contest, but we just wanted to have an open discussion, open leadership, so that going forward, we won't have any misunderstanding or any, maybe, you know, how sometimes when this campaign started, things that inappropriate will be flowing by, and later it will come back to bad side. That's what we want to avoid. But clearly, if John Dramani Mahama puts his name down, he stands tall. I don't think anybody in Ghana, but you hear people calling his name. I think we need John Dramani Mahama now than ever. So for me, my only interest is how we can come together as a party. That's what we are doing at the moment. There is no any misunderstanding going on. At least even if there is, it's like 5% out of 95, which is good. Right. So for me, if we come together, then we can win 2024 and beyond. That's what we are looking for. But whoever wanted to put himself forward is allowed, because look, if we are if the registration fee is even 200 pounds, doctor, and then we have like 10 people or 5, that alone is bringing money for the party. You got my point.
Yes.
So for me, I'm whoever wanted to come and contest is allowed. But hey, you need to carry yourself. Make sure that are you going to win? And we don't where divide will come, this camp and this camp, they will be firing like already Alan Tramates and Baumiers, and then you could see how things are folding up, Canada, Japan, and we don't want that situation in NDC. Why? Because we are the government in waiting, so we need to put our house in order. So clearly, these are the things that I think is going on within the NDC.
All right, so let me come straight to the current burning issue. You know, with the let me first of all say hello to Mr. Tegbe. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How are you? How was your week?
My week has been okay. We give thanks for the gift of life.
Oh, okay, Sabato. The thing is, before you be able to hear Mr. Tegbe, you'd have to listen at the other side, because I have to, disconnect you from the line Mr. Tegbe is talking from. He's on the Skype, or he's on the, how do you call it? So if you want to listen to what Mr. Tegbe is saying, you'd have to, disconnect and then listen.
But can he? Can he?
Yeah, he can hear you, Mr. Tegbe. Can you hear Sabato?
Yes, I can hear. I can hear Senior Sabato very well.
I want you to finish. Wait, I was only saying hello to Mr. Tegbe. I was greeting him on the show. I'll come to him. But with your campaign this morning, you started off on the show, which I have not even allowed you to do that. But I mean, you throw in as a confident party in your NDC, decided to chip in that first start. Anyway, what about the Auditor General report, which I threw to you last night, that the country is facing at the moment? I mean, it keeps wrecking our country of our purse. What are you going to say, if you want to say a bit, because you've already spoken already, if you want to have a word or two over it, and then I'll come to Mr.
Well, Doctor, this is not new. If you quite remember, last year or so, when same Auditor General report came out, we came to some of your platform and contribute what we thought of. But clearly, it's not a new, because if you check how we are Auditor General report every year, and then how money gone missing without any tracing, without punishment, without anything.
I don't even think the response as to what's the COVID money. Some of them we cannot trace them to come out with a jacket amount of money, for example. It doesn't look like the government is still hanging on the neck of those who were responsible for it as to where the money.
No. Doctor, those are the reasons why you have noticed that Nana Akufo-Addo and his government corrupt rate are just balloon. It's going up compared to when the NDC was there. Although we didn't have special prosecutor office, but it has turned out that we were fighting corruption than the Nana Akufo-Addo. But for them, they are just making it like slogan. All the time we have special prosecutor and we have this institution, this, that, but the president himself, doctor, he is not willing to fight the corruption. Under the leadership of Nana Akufo-Addo, when you fight corruption, the corruption will fight you back. And we talk of the person of Demilebo. Demilebo was fighting corruption.
Okay.
But the whole world, everybody noticed, but clearly they put him out, standing on his age, and then the president was not interested on him. Why? Because the president thought that he's exposing his party. So they sent him away. So looking at the current issues about how money have gone missing, how even tertiary, like lecturers, are also putting things that are not supposed to be done, how judges are buying cars without the approval of chief of staff. It's a worrying time, doctor. These are the things that is not supposed to happen under the leadership of Nana Akufo-Addo.
Yeah, but it's about to, from the look of things, I mean, it keeps getting worse and worse. And you believe me that in as much as president is the highest profile in the country, it looks like he can get away with anything. What are we doing? What is Parliament doing about it? What is the man on the ground doing? Don't we have any option of, saying that, listen, yes, you are the leader of the country, but I think if you don't do this, or we're going to do this, or you think we had to do this, it looks like he keep running until his days are rubbed off.
Thank you. Why? Because the party MPs doesn't see anything wrong with what the president is doing.
So what is the NDC doing about if the NDC says something wrong about it? What are you doing?
We have said time and time even in your platform, we have said time and time about the wrongdoing.
There's one thing saying, there's another thing acting. It's about to.
Yeah, and then in front of Parliament, you know how some of our MPs, they are fighting here and there about the president traveling, about the president management of the economy, about the large president staffer in the president's own under him, people who are working in the Jubilee House. You know how we are telling the president about corruption issues. So these are the things that we even currently, when everything statement went to the Parliament, they approved a loan of 750 million with a list of road that they are going to construct everything. When they dropped the amount that was supposed to be 750 million, we noticed that it was 730 million. Didn't to force a caution the Minister of Finance? These are the things that our MPs are doing. But apart from action and putting things in record, there is nothing we can do about that. Because
you remember what happened recently in Sri Lanka? Was that Sri Lanka one of the countries where they went directly to the president's house, make sure he doesn't sleep and all that? You remember?
Yeah, those ones. The opposition
boys,
cannot do that. Yeah. Because if you do that, people will think of your own interest. Okay. These are the Sri Lankans who thought that, look, we cannot sit down and watch one family to be destroying things for us. So you see, it was them that stand up, and then the people follow them back. We are the minority MPs fighting every day and there. The MPP MPs care less because they think this is our government. If we are doing that, we are bringing our party. But they don't know that the Ghana is sinking and their party is sinking as well. So clearly, those are the reasons why.
Okay,
they
let me
put
get
something
Mr.
like
Tegbe. I think you've spoken enough. And so you want to
Yeah,
land in 2 minutes, and then I'll get Mr. Tegbe, please.
Before I will land.
Yeah, I'll give you 2 minutes to land.
Yeah. Nana Akufo-Addo himself, as a president, knows that I won't go in front of Ghanaians to ask them for power again. He cares less about his party. He doesn't care about Ghana. He still has some bitterness how Ghanaians treat him 2008, 2012, those times. So for him, he thinks there's nothing anybody can do. So whatever they are doing, they are doing. Those are the reasons why you still notice Kenoforiata is still in post. Health Minister Ajimai Menu is still in post. Agric Minister is still in post. Because the president cares. And he knows the opposition, we don't have the numbers to impeach him. So who again? Just tell me, the only thing that our MPs can do is to put things in record. Sometimes we boycott things, all because we want Ghanaians to know that we are not in support of those things. So clearly, what we can do is, at least as an alternative government, we use your medium, your platform, and everywhere we get opportunity, we express our views, how we feel about the economy, how we feel about the poor leadership. Those are the things that we can do. So that in record, people will notice that, oh, this time I went to the Dr. Ray show, Dr. MORTON show. This is what I spell out. This is what NDC make a statement of. Those are the things that as an opposition party.
Thank you very much, Sabatu. Salamu alaikum.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, Mr. Tegbe.
Good morning, Doctor.
Morning again, sir. You're live on air, please. Recently.
So let me go to the other side so that I can hear.
Yeah, you can hear the other side. Mr. Tegbe, how are you? As I said, I know you're very well and fine, and you know, I know you're very active within the face of Ghanaian events as it unfolds. But recently, the death or the audit general report, and then previous issues that has cropped up. I started off talking about the commercial flights, which we thought the president should use. None of any of such report has come up as to whether he's flew somewhere within a short period of time using the private jet. And then, you know, the nurses who cried out fully over, you know, employment and the general concept of a good leadership or the governance, you know. Now, what is happening now? What my concern is, okay, so this man, we make a lot of noise as to expecting him to do what is required of him as a president, make sure he takes the people who voted him into consideration, and is not, in your view. Is there anything else we can do? I know we call a few strikes here and there. It doesn't seem to yield anything, doesn't it?
It doesn't yield anything because, Doctor, as citizenry, unfortunately, we still have a lot of people operating on ignorance. Part of the citizenry are also lazy, and they do not attempt at any time to do any due diligence. They will run with any headline they see without even reading the content of the storyline. So any rebuttals by presidency, they take as their word. And tribal bigotry is still so ingrained that good people or even educated people that have access to information will either refuse to read or search up on the information and just make decisions and strike things off without looking into it. The current leader has no interest in protecting anything of national value. It does not need me to even say this now. All his actions, from the implementation of free SHS, which he was cautioned about till present, COVID funds not being accounted for, the 9 people that were murdered on the election night, everything that is unprecedented, the loans, the record high revenues that has come into the country, but to date, we cannot point to any major program that has been entered that's beneficial. Unfortunately for the nurses who are also Ghanaians, the decision made and the hypocrisy indulging when they were swayed by rhetorics and catchy phrases and slogans has brought us to this point. I would be the first one to say that I was very upset with JM in 2016 when he kept saying posterity will be the judge, because I felt he had to do more and be more vocal in voicing out on the things that he had been doing. But posterity in this time has been so quick to reward him for the good work that he done, the projects that he done. Name calling does not hold any place. All the projects he did, the airport is still there. He cannot take that. He cannot lock the airport and go away. He cannot lock the Tema port and go away. Dodowa Hospital, I wonder if he's even visited after commissioning. He cannot go there and order anyone to lock up that place because he was the one that championed it. These are the things you expect from a leader. UGMC, that our health minister went there to go and relax in. This is a lesson for all of us. Going forward, when we are making decisions, we need to look into things. There has been various promises and sword cutting done by this present president, and none have manifested. Buankra Inland Project is my favorite one. Anytime I drive on that road, I start laughing when I see the big billboard with Otumfo on it. It was one of the biggest scams in the country. All that pageantry, timelines, project management, to my knowledge, you give a scope of the project, you give time, all of that comes to a successful run. If you give time and you don't meet the time, you have failed. If you give time and it has to change, you have to bring an update. But here's the case where there's this impression being created that somebody who's being paid by our taxes is beyond reproach. So whatever he does, despicable as it is, nobody is supposed to speak about it, because some tribal bigots will champion a cause and be shouting and be fighting. But I will not be the only one that will suffer. Suffering where you know what is happening and suffering in silence and pretending that you're not suffering, it is even worse for the hypocrites. There's a saying that I'll translate to English that if your mom is dead and you claim she's not dead, the smell of her corpse will drive you out of your own home. It is happening. People are forcing themselves to find a way to create some small distance whilst pretending they're interested in national discourse. But in this modern day and age, we have the beauty of records that we can remember what everybody said. We have screenshots, we have a stash, storage, documents to back things that are happening. We are not in the Stone Age anymore, where if I do not have a private meeting with you, Dr. Morton, I cannot recall or refer to a program you did 4 weeks ago. We are all responsible for what is going on. We are responsible for the hypocrisy, and this is to the people that currently, in the wake of everything that's happening, are still all out trying to throw dust into people's eyes when the country has been run to the ground by a finance minister who, by record, you can see his company in the 5 years come from millions to billions. The latest 750 million loan, 37 disappeared before it hit Bank of Ghana. Ghanaians, I keep saying, are not angry enough. It is either nobody is reading or people are just saying, oh, it's okay, because I'll wear white tomorrow and I'll come and quote Ecclesiastes. No, God does not approve of that. And the shameful people who front on all platforms and tell lies on behalf of these abysmal leadership should be ashamed of themselves. Ghanaians need to wake up and take our country. It does not fall on only NDC. There is no petrol station that takes MPP party membership card to give you the right price of petrol. Diesel, as of yesterday, 6 in the morning. I'm sure you have seen the price increase again.
Yep.
That is beautiful. That's for a liter. When the demonstration was done against John Mahama for prices of fuel, the whole gallon was 14 cedis. People that were paid to demonstrate, people that did not even know why they were demonstrating, they were paid for the day. The heat is on them today. I am not the one who is struggling to make ends meet. But as a collective, everybody knows and everybody is feeling the pinch. People that you know are hardworking, decent people that you know, your own mates, now find a way to subtly ask for assistance. Some are embarrassed to even come, but they are genuinely struggling, and it's not they're trying to dupe you. I mean, I will cite the budget being overrun in the 2021 Auditor General's report, and casually said it 27 MDAs and 218 MMDAs exceeded their approved budgets for goods and services. So 218 and 27, it means it's happening everywhere.
Right.
Under this leadership by 10 billion 509 million. Have you heard anyone being punished for it? No, because they are all part of a network of the leader. Under John Mahama, someone made a comment that if they got $1 million, a comment, maybe overexcited comment, maybe irresponsible in the space that she was in, and she was cut straight away, just for the possible intent. This is an Auditor General's report, but not even one person is being cited.
Wow.
Earlier on this week, I'm sure you saw the report. I mean, it's on page 6 if you want to see it. The report, that guy that assaulted the police officer in the Western region, he's being reinstated quietly. Yeah, that's why I always advise Ghanaians to follow issues through.
I'm asking you, couldn't there be another means of fighting this injustice apart from the
only language that this president understands is what he boldly stated, as in the Tiwa example. And unfortunately, Ghanaians, we are very docile, but we are also loving people who prefer our peace in terms of everything. But the education needs to be done, as the NDC keeps doing, keep our people in parliament producing documents. Those of us that are diligent also keep shouting at the top of our voices, because it is only when the citizenry are fully aware of what is going on that you can have everybody understand you. If not, an ignorant person will say, oh, you were on air speaking about this person because you hate him. And that's one of the most ignorant statements you can ever hear from anybody. Okay, where somebody is not taking into account whether what you're saying is truth or falsehood, but they think it's a personal issue. How much does one person need? Not a lot. But if you fall down today and you're not able to get to the hospital and you have $1 million in your house, that $1 million is useless. If somebody builds hospitals so that your life will be better, the same person that can afford to go anywhere for his treatment is building a hospital, thinking about you, but you think that person is not the right person to lead you. That same person that builds a port to increase business into the country, that you might be able to do something with your savings to generate growth, you don't think it's enough. Somebody that builds an airport that brings more people and traffic, that creates jobs. The ripple effect. It's either you do not understand what's going on or you're ignorant.
That's right. Thank you very much. Joe.
Let's wake up.
We should. I mean, I think we should
wake up.
It's about time Ghanaians stand on their feet. But I mean, the good thing is, I like the fact that
if Joe is not ready, I just want to go to number 10 of the Auditor General report. After that 10 billion,
right?
It said, I mean, owing to a strong collaboration between the revenue agencies.
Is because Joe would not hear you. Otherwise, he wouldn't do what you're going to outline. So if that way, you would wait till he's done. If he goes back to listen to all this, perhaps you will pick one or two from it, please. And so let me get Joe on. And good morning, sir, Joe.
Yeah, good morning, Doc.
How are you?
Oh, by God's grace.
Good.
We are doing well.
I hope the family and everyone is fine.
Oh, by His grace. We don't deserve this grace, but I mean, we've been favored with it, so we can only be appreciative.
Right. Already we've got the country on a fire. Now it's been fueled more in the sense of our purse being wrecked. if you look at the audit report that has cropped in lately. I mean, we've been crying over this, not recent years, but it's been over and over a long time ago. You are already, I don't know what to put it, you kept this government in an arm's length, perhaps because of what you consider not to be the best way of governance. Now, with the crime effect in the last election, we've talked about that already. Recently, there's something more about the Ghana card, which people assume is a shoot and a means of acquiring wealth from the people. A lot of people think this is just means to acquire money to face the next year's election as a resource. You wanna say something about what we can do to stop perhaps what we've seen as the government trying to rape our pockets?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. And then I want to say good morning to my seniors who have already been on, Sabato and Mr. Tegbe. Also, good morning to those who will come on, say Gabo and everybody. I mean, those listening and all that. In fact, Mr. Tegbe did
that. You and Gabo, one of these days, you had to go get restaurant and get a drink.
You see, and that's what I'm coming on. Mr. Tegbe did say something, and I think I applaud him for saying that. It is not because one hates anyone. I don't think every month, if I get paid, they will say because I hate Akufo-Addo, they are adding £1,000 to it. I don't think it happens anywhere in the world. So I wouldn't hate him for nothing. I mean, I wouldn't get anything for hating Akufo-Addo or hating Segabo or hating Mr. Tegbe or Sabato.
I think Mr. Gabo has no problem either with you. I think the only problem he has with you.
Yeah, but then you see, if it's not about my line of language, and you see that the problem is that, like Mr. Tegbe said, we have a country to save, and the problem I have is when people as intelligent as those we know who talk on radio and all that, and they are refusing to accept the truth, but instead choose to lie, instead choose the way that will not lead us all into the good direction. That is where I have a problem. And so I don't think when the report that stares at us by this Auditor General, like this report that stares at us, look at the kind of crime in that report. And you want me to call on a radio station and say Akufo-Addo is the most handsome man on earth? Is that what you want me to say? You see, these are the issues. I will not hate Akufo-Addo because I want something from him. But the fact is that those crimes that have been committed and that is being reported by the Auditor General, if we could save those kind of money, John Mahama, irrespective of all his incompetencies and all his problems and all being a northerner and all that, he built a University of Ghana Medical Center. He built Terminal 3. Now, if we were able to save all these monies, we could be building Terminal 4. Akufo-Addo could be building Terminal 4. You understand? So when all these things are going on, and you expect that people in UK, in America, in Canada, if Ghanaians are doing the Bantama and the KJTR politics, we understand. Because to them, that is what it is. But if you live in the UK and you still support this kind of attitude, this is where some of us cannot hide our words and we cannot apologize for the words we use. Because it smacks of madness. Because look, those monies could be, look, let me tell you, there was an instance, and it was under Akufo-Addo's government. Okay. That a woman, a pregnant woman, she was carrying twins. She went to hospital, and the medication that she needed, if you convert that kind of the price of the medication, if you convert it into pounds, it's not even up to £10. But the woman had to die because that medicine was not in the hospital. The woman had to die. And you think if it was my family member, if it was your family member, you'll be happy? When leaders are abusing the finances of the state and nothing could be shown for it. You understand? This is the reason why I am so mad. And you see, like my seniors have already said, it is not a matter of because it is Joe, when he go, he will buy it at 1 cedi. But because it is a Gabo, when he goes, he'll buy it at zero cedi. We are all buying it at the same rate.
Okay.
There is no MPP price and NDC price or CPP price. But you see, the problem that confronts us, is the insult some people reference on us. It is an insult because look, when people are knowing what is happening, there is a country to save, and people come about, and instead of condemning the situation, instead of raging at the situation, they come and tell us all politicians are the same. Did you see this financial malfeasance under John Mahama?
Well,
did you see this kind of financial discrepancies under Jerry John Rawlings? And then they come on, and then look, the insult I'm referring to is that you come and tell us all politicians are the same, but then you need a third force. That third force is not a politician. That third force is from heaven. If all politicians are the same, why then did you vote John Mahama, who built Terminal 3, who built GMC, who built all even Akufo-Addo's own hometown? John Mahama gave them water to drink. If all politicians are the same, why then do you vote him out to go and bring someone who is going to rape your finances, who is going to rent private jets and be sleeping with women? Why then do you go and bring him? If all politicians, why then don't we allow John Mahama to be in power and be building Terminal 4, Terminal 5, Terminal 6, and be building 8 GMCs every region, building an international model of hospital?
Joe, do me a favor 1 minute. What it is I started with, what's his name? Maybe you would have to look at this from this perspective. I made, what's his name? Sabato started speaking. We didn't have much of you ready for the show. So now I'm going to time it. I know that you might say that I let the others spoke a little longer, but now you've got people coming on the show. So I'm going to give each and everyone 10 minutes. So you have about at least 4 minutes, please. Yeah. Bear with me.
Yeah. Thank you very much. For me, I understand everything. It's good we give others the opportunity to also talk. So far as we are going to talk in favor,
so that's fine.
Yeah, they talk in favor of. You see, we've gotten to that point that look, we should be blind to our political line. We should rather focus on saving Ghana, because look, no matter what, we are Ghanaians. That is what comes first. We are first of all Ghanaians, and protecting Ghana, making sure that Ghana is a place that we can be proud of, is what is paramount. And so it is not a matter of at all cost, because I belong to this tribe or because I belong to this religion, I need to defend my tribesman or someone I attend the same church with. It is not. It hasn't gotten to that. We first of all need to have Ghana at heart, and that is the most important thing. So when people talk about you hate Akufo-Addo, I mean, if I hate Akufo-Addo, yes, I will not shy away from saying I hate Akufo-Addo. I don't hate him as a person, but I hate his administration. Okay. I hate the way he is managing the affairs of the country. I hate it because, look, if what we have heard, all these things going on, he has not been able to, arrest not even a single person from his party for the corruption that is going on. Everyone that comes under the scrutiny of corruption, he clears them. Everyone, he clears them. Even those with ammunition killing people, he is clearing everyone. How then do you want me to love such a person? You see, let us not think that because it is Joe who hates Akufo-Addo, so it is just mere hatred. But look, consider what is happening to Ghanaians. Consider if it happened to you. Akufo-Addo's administration, what he is doing, the evils in that administration, what he is doing, if it happened to you, that is why you need to. And you see, there was a man who said they came for the lawyers. I didn't join because I wasn't a lawyer. I didn't talk because I wasn't a lawyer. They came for teachers. I didn't talk because I wasn't a teacher. Now later they will come for you. The reason is, and the evidence is clear. We've seen what happened to Paul Afoko. Was he not an MPP chairman?
Well, he was.
Was Paul Yes, and that is what is going to happen. And you see, we are glad, and like John Mahama said, posterity will judge all of us. We are glad because today, MPP people are buying. They are going to buy cement 70 something cities by middle of this
73.
week or next week. And it's not only NDC people or CPP or PNC or the so-called third force who are going to buy. Everybody is going to buy.
You have a minute, Joe, please.
You understand? Yeah. So it's not me, Joe, me hating Akufo-Addo or whatever. And I will not even shy away from saying that I hate Akufo-Addo's administration. I don't hate him as a person, but what he is doing, I will be a coward and I will be a hypocrite if I don't talk. We need to come out. We need to speak. And this report, and I am expecting Segabo to come. I mean, we are all a family.
Segabo is next on the
my
show.
father.
I've got him online. When he's done, he comes in.
I've always said, look, no matter how I disagree with him, no matter how we kind of, he's my father. I respect him for being a father and being a man of that status.
Okay, thank you very much.
The reason why I have always had fight with Segabo is that when issues of such nature, this is where you expect Segabo to show us his intelligence, show us his integrity.
Okay, Joe, you would have to go and come, I'm afraid. And then
thank you. I'll do that. Thank you very much.
But I think I would have to say this. I mean, I respect the fact that in as much as it is politics we're doing, and then people share their views. There are times that even on a face of Ghana, for example, I mean, people share their views and whatever it is. Till now, what has happened in most African countries, like the Civil War and all that, we have not experienced that. I mean, people will say that this is how it started off, but we should still, tone our language and look at how it can possibly escalate and still guide the way we put in words. Good morning, Segabo.
Morning, Dr. Morton.
How are you,
Morning. Oh, I'm good, by grace. I'm
good. Joe says you are one of his cherished uncles. It's just unfortunate that you don't agree on certain things. You're a nice man. And, what do you say to that? His problem is that he feels you have to say something about this, way of governance, and so you'd have to consider the way Nana is ruling the country, and at least say a word or two and to shape him up. But personally, he has no problem with you at all. And I was telling him that, well, you only have no problem with him. You only have problem with his way of language.
Yeah, certainly. I have a big problem with the way he speaks, especially when he went to one of the best schools, a Catholic school, like I went to Catholic school, Pogore School. You went to St. Augustine's. We are brothers. We all went to Catholic schools. And we're given the same ethos and discipline. And what I'm shocked, I'm flabbergasted about Joe talking about, you see, because of politics. He has
you said it before, though. Joe's got leadership quality. He can be a good political figure. And
Joe has nurtured certain hatred and pain in his bone. He
says he doesn't hate Akufo-Addo. He only hates his way of
no. The way he speaks.
Okay, let's go on. Anyway, he knows that you've always been talking about. Let's go on to today's issue. What is happening is, you remember when the Ghana card, not too long ago, people thought it was unnecessary. I mean, you've got a passport, you've got a driving license. Question is, why the Ghana card?
Before I address the Ghana card, let me say this before I forget. And I wish all of us listening to this program today will pay serious attention to that.
Okay.
You see, it doesn't matter whether we believe in God or not. God is not going to change for anybody. He created us. He's a God Almighty. He's a sovereign God. He says, his word says that all sins will be forgiven, but sins against the Holy Spirit may not be forgiven. I'm not saying that. I'm giving the quotations, the text on the platform.
Right.
Joe was responding to Mr. Kofi Ali's comments that he's born again, blah, blah, blah. He's no good, he insult anybody. And out of the usual Joe, he came out talking blah, blah, blah. You know what he said? He used the expression, something, dubious Holy Ghost has been baptized. If you have been baptized by the dubious Holy Ghost.
I think I read that. The thing is, he was being blasphemed.
You don't meet your hypocrisy. So what?
No, I think what it is Kofi Ali started saying that he was born again. And so for all these previous insults, he was chipping in. He's not going to repeat it. And so Joe re-encounter those statements using the Holy Spirit as Mr. Ali started off. It wasn't a blasphemy or something that he started off using it. He was just trying to say that if you can...
I know from Joe's normal mind as a person, he will not go out there to insult the Holy Ghost.
Okay.
But you see, maybe he doesn't know.
Caution,
you see, the words he put out there, in terms of grammar, it's okay.
Okay.
But there's something wrong with the logic and the meaning of the sentence.
Right.
You see, a sentence is a sentence because of its meaning.
Okay.
A sentence is a sentence because of the meaning it connotes, the impressions it connotes. That can put anybody into trouble. I'm not talking about the grammar here. The grammar was perfect, but the logic behind it. You are using the word dubious to attach it the Holy Spirit, Holy Ghost. Hey, somebody want a Catholic school?
All right. So
you must. I'm scared for him. I'm really scared for him.
I'm sure if he's listening,
let me. So I wish. I'm saying this so that you will be careful about the things he says.
Okay. I hope
because he's always full of anger.
Okay.
There's one thing about you. He's always full of anger. He comes to a program as if somebody. He's always full of anger. I've said this. This is the last time I'm saying this.
Okay.
You can say anything.
Sagabu wants you to calm your aggression.
I'm saying this for that. I will never ever say this anymore. I've said this several times. You make your point, devoid of insults, devoid of all the insinuation. I've said this is the last time. You it's not my blood son. He calls me father. That's good by a culture. He's not my whipping son. I cannot come on a program always whipping him. I cannot do that. But what he said was serious, dangerous. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. What he put out there. Dubious Holy Spirit.
But Smiley is putting some few words. He started
dubious Holy Spirit.
Hang on. Let me read a few messages from the Facebook. Master, what's his name? Papa Smiley. He said poetic ras, and he said as an intelligent. What is the measure of intelligence? And he goes on to say best description could be a vocal, and then allow the Holy Ghost to defend itself, or it can't. Lots of love, he said. Anyway, Segabu, you have 5 minutes since you decided to.
5 minutes before I come to the car. Let me say this.
All the time
let me also say this. Let me say this.
Okay.
Let me say this. 3 years ago, when we were talking about whether Nanado has a certificate or not, okay. I was so angry. I came out and said that those people who are saying Nanado has not got certificate, blah 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 blah. I said, and so what? I did not mean. I've never said anywhere. I came to the program. I said that I've never said anywhere that Nanado has a certificate or not. I've not said that. And I said those who are saying that he hasn't got certificate should go and prove it. I don't know what is in Joe's mind. Joe has come back after I have corrected myself over there, after I made things clear. Joe has come back after 3 weeks, putting on the platform that Segabo even said last week that Nanado hasn't got any certificate. I don't know what Joe's intention is. I don't know what intentions. It's only God knows.
I don't think he.
I don't know
the
intentions. I don't know his intentions. Why he said that? It's only he who knows it.
No,
it is only Joe who knows it.
He's saying that from your words, you put it together. That's how it arrives. That's what it means.
When another can say that, I'll hand over power to MPP candidates.
But let me ask you this:
became something. People who misinterpret the word "will" into something else. I'm not surprised he's misinterpreting, misconstruing my ideas in a certain way. But he has his own intentions of doing that. He must stop that wicked, evil intention. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good enough.
Any pleasure in presidency?
Do I take any pleasure?
Would you like to be a president one day? Or last Sunday, you like to keep it private?
Last Sunday, I was at the MPP's 30th anniversary in La Roya in North London. Last Sunday, about 400 people. And Kennedy Japan was there. My friend, come and see what happened there. Who tells you politics is not good? Who tells you? Okay, and who tells you that if I were the president of Ghana, I would not be happy? Who tells you?
The NPP
all of us speaking on the platform. If any one of us, whether Sabato, Joe, you, any of us were to become president, anybody will enjoy it. All of us. Certainly, why not? Certainly, why not? Why not? Why would not enjoy the kind of person of Ghana? Why not?
Can I ask you a question?
But the card, on the question on the card,
Uh-huh.
on the question, yes, go ahead.
The country think the card is being used as a pivot to steal from us.
The card is being used as a pivot to do what?
To steal from the country because it has no basis, especially when we've
to steal from the country.
Yes, especially when we've got driver license and we've got a passport. And so why the Ghana card?
Let me also this.
Okay, go on.
When something happens in this country, why are the police force here? Are they able to arrest people within a split of a second? Why is that something happens? They're able to bring statistics on the television news that this and this happened 30 years ago. This, that. We are living in white man's country here, where we call something system. And we are trying to put this back home in Ghana, and people are saying that it's not good, it's not beneficial. But Ghanaians living in London saying that the Ghana card is not good. It's part of rebuilding the system, and people have problems with this. I wonder why people want to have problems with this one.
Well, they have
problems. Is it going to help us to fight money laundering? Is it going to help us to fight people who engage in criminal activities? So that you know that if you do this and you're caught, your name.
I think I disagree with you here. The thing is, the card is actually meant to be, for one to be notified as a Ghanaian as an identity. Now we have the passport and we have the driving license. And so that is what I'm saying. I mean, why would they have the Ghana card if you've got all these two identities already in existence for these purposes?
What are the items on the Ghana card? What do you have on the Ghana card?
Right. So now here.
What are the elements? What do you have there on the Ghana card?
Have you seen the Ghana card yourself? Do you know what?
I've seen one.
Can you tell the essence of what's on it?
You're talking about the essence.
Yes.
The essence, the value of anything depends on what it is made of.
Anyway,
what is made of?
To steal your time, you have 3
minutes. What are the items on the Ghana card? It's only so if you're talking about driver license, that's standing on its own. But the Ghana card can have a lot of information about you.
Could only be meant for driving. It has so many reasons. This country is used as a substitute for the passport. You can also use it for anything.
But would you have your bank accounts on the bank? Would you have any other details apart from your?
You have 2 minutes. Let me leave you. I don't want to say that. Maybe you're not answering my question, but
Dr. Morton, yes, I want to believe that if you take Ghana card and you take your driving license, I do not think we can take one item to compare to an item that these components has a lot of items concerning somebody's information. About your address, your age, about where you live, about your bank account, other elements on the Ghana card. How can anybody compare the Ghana card to any single item like a driving license? That because we have a driving license, the Ghana card. You see, if this Ghana card has come from a Western European country, has come from Europe, and we are copying it, we will say hooray. Because we have initiated our own thing, we don't believe in it. You see what the right man is that?
It's not about believing in it. Okay, Segabu, I think your time is up. You want to come back again, please?
We have initiated something. Instead of we endorsing it and see how we can make much more effective. We don't want to believe in that. We are having now. What? Let me leave you.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'm just getting here. I don't want to be saying things.
Okay,
that's on me.
I'll call you back again when the time is. Thank you. All right, Mr. Tegbe.
Yes, doctor.
With the Ghana cards, please.
That was a beautiful session of filibustering. Wow.
Oh, thank you.
Just using 10 minutes to avoid answering questions and focus on discussing a panelist. That's a new law.
I don't want to say that he's run away from my question.
I have said it. You're the host. I am a panelist. I am saying it.
Yeah, but is that how it is? You think he's running?
But that's exactly how it is, and I'm saying it. You can quote me on that.
You are again invited to the NPP meetings. If
I am not interested. I have other things to use my time for. Oh, they know. I mean, it will get there. He will take it there. But going on the Ghana card, let me be clear. The issue of the Ghana card is not the Ghana card that is wrong. It is the shenanigans that are being employed to make it superior and erode our original identity documents. That is what the crime is about. I am happy that your last, panelist referred to the UK. Do you have something like a UK national ID that surpasses the passport? You see, when people get the microphone and out of hypocrisy, they are unable to speak the truth, they will use all kind of jargons and make references to Western worlds and talk about what ifs, what ifs. There's no what ifs, there's no hypothetical situation in this. Which Western country in the universe do we know that has an ID card that has more value in terms of identifying a citizen, that holds better weight than a birth certificate or a passport? Can you name me one, please? Well, for also the listeners to take a cue from this. It is just pure evil and machinations to try and get people not to be in line and to disenfranchise people. That is what this is all about. As we're speaking, South is still the cardinal sin of the 8th Republic. The 8th session of this 4th Republic. What are we talking about? Why the pretense? If you are invited to a show and you have nothing to say, you can politely decline. Doctor, today I am unable to speak on these topics. I have nothing to say. The person I believed in has let me down, and for my own integrity, I am not here. But you can see when somebody is lacing their boots and somebody is gagging to be at that dining table, the response is that who would not like it if they were a president? You're talking of what is being done with the country, not your personal benefit. Anybody can go to a party. But to have a party with stolen money, whilst people are dying in ambulances because they cannot pay for fuel, what do we learn in this country? Yesterday, I saw 3 accidents. Bikes were being hit. All of them were responded to. One got airlifted in Southwest London. So are we honest people? Why can we not want the same thing for the people that we occasionally send our £10 to? If somebody has a good quality of life, is that not a good thing? Why the force? Why the time limit to get Ghana card to replace everything? There is no rush. What is the rush for if you don't have any evil intent? The Ghana card that you get by providing your birth certificate and your passport. Now, if you don't have it, you are persona non grata. In the country that we are in, what percentage is educated? How is the processing being done so far? How is the integration being done to facilitate the implementation of what is being touted? That you have a minister that is being paid by taxpayers come and make loose statements. Oh, we will see. It is an issue of performance. And I also always go down to the leadership. Where you have a president who has no good intent, who keeps making statements like, oh, his ministers are performing beyond expectations, so he does not see the need to reshuffle. Yes, because they are busy involved in subterfuge and crime and embezzling funds, and it's all a network. Nobody is able to speak. And he's also not able to discipline them because everybody has something on him because he's part of everything that's going on. What is the performance metrics that's being used to, come to this conclusion of super excellent? Look at this finance minister post. All the noise, all the lies that were being told. I don't know if, Doctor, you were following the events of this Ato Forcing case.
Yeah.
The Minister of Health, on record,
I do, yes,
has not cited any letter that depicts fraud. This is on record in court.
And so
are we trying to prosecute people?
This is what I was saying.
As a witch hunt, or just to appease people that don't read?
Minus, if we make noise and don't seem to be happy with what's going on, well, we've had the strikes and all that, and then whether or not the strike made sense, is it the government just ignoring all this because he feels it's untouchable? Are we being switched from a democracy?
The president is a tyrant. He is a tyrant. There has not been any civilian president that has used the army or state security forces.
It apparently means that he's getting away with this.
Oh, he's getting away with it because Ghanaians are docile. He's also getting away with it because people, some percentage of people do not actually understand what's going on. And the same people that you stand and fight for will be the same ones that will be saying, oh, you're doing this for your personal gain. You're doing this for your personal gain. Oh, what have you been? No. Somebody is robbing you. You don't have access to a hospital. That's what somebody is fighting for. Somebody is robbing the country by closing toll booths without thinking it through. But because it's related to the president, nobody is speaking. Financial loss. Doctor, in this country, tell me which company or which government institution you can work for and make a £20 mistake on your invoice and not be called to book. You remember what happened about the double salary when the MPs were using their houses as offices and charging rent? I hope you remember that.
I do.
In Ghana, you'll be told, "Oh, why are you speaking, Dr. Morton? Don't you like Joe? Why would you say that? Is it because he's from Labour or he's from?" No. Right is right and wrong is wrong. Once it comes to light, you know you'll be hunted for it and you'll be made to pay the price for it. A lot of people's political careers have ended. Somebody kissed in an office and gave a job to his girlfriend, unpaid job. He lost his ministerial position in this country. So the reference to this country, when your last panelist comes back, let him cite the national ID in this country that trumps the passport, that trumps the driver's license that he's trying to do the hypothetical situation about. I have a Ghana card. And for the first year plus, none of the banks could access the information on it. You can verify this by any bank. They did not have the integration in place. Even the voters ID that was done for 2020, they still could not use it in the bank. They were still using the older one for 2016 because the integration had been put in place. So just launching ideas, forging ahead without putting all the necessary work just for the theatrics, it is not intelligent. I am glad that the last panelist came back and he tried to distance himself from the statement he made because he had to look good. I am sure somebody pulled him up at the meeting that he went to. But the reality of the matter is none of the issues that are being raised has been addressed. The panelist he was discussing is not a topic for the nation. He's one person out of 30 million. How he chooses to speak, each man will bear his own cross. You're not a counselor. Address the issues of the nation, the issues that are being spoken about, the issues that our taxes are being mismanaged. The Auditor General report is there. You are an economic person. That's your field. This is the time where you should be here, educating those of us that you have boldly said that you know better than us. You should be boldly educating us with this table and telling us why this is wrong. Why the figures that we are seeing, it is a numbers game. We have numbers. It says here 10 billion, 509 million has been overrun on the budget. And it's over 200, municipalities. What is going on?
5 minutes, Mr. Tegler.
It is not just one person, and it says in that report as well, the recurring budget overrun does not ensure effective and efficient budgetary control. How do we get into a problem that we are in now? It is because of things like this. But when you go to these same places, COVID funds was distributed amongst party faithfuls. It's on record. Somebody came to confess. Sir John's estate came to air. Why? Because there was a fight about the distribution of the property. State resources. And quickly, an instrument was issued to try and cover that up. Then another statement was issued that it wasn't only MPP people that had got the land, NDC people that got the land as well. This was by the minister in place, Jinapo. And the list was going to be published. Where is the list?
This is coming from Segabusi. Mr. Tegler, your current speaker, is referring to an air ambulance lifting on the injured person to hospital. He always speaks.
Please, this is not coming out of my 10 minutes.
Okay, when they're done. You have 3 minutes anyway. Go on.
He can say that when it comes on air.
Okay, that's fine. But anyway, whoever writes anything.
When it comes on air, he needs to identify the national ID in the UK where he resides that surpasses the passport.
Okay.
You know, we should not be throwing dust into people's eyes. And I am glad that that has come up. Those efforts, and I keep saying this every week, that the hypocrites will be unearthed with their own utterances. The hypocrites will be unearthed by their fruits that they bear. Even blind people are aware something is not right. I'm saying this. The 8 has been broken by the euro. The 8 has been broken by the dollar. The 8 has been broken by the pound sterling. John Mahama had a demonstration done against him. The dollar was 3.57. Petrol was 14 cedis a gallon. Today, to get diesel at 14.50 a liter, only your guess is as good as mine. Cement is at 73. So you tell me how many people are ready now that can put up a property or even dream of it? People that have salaries of 500 cedis. How many cement are you going to buy? Are you going to eat? Are you going to have any transport? Crime will surge when things like this are happening. You saw the list, I'm sure, of the judges that bought the cars. You know, every day, Ghanaians now are becoming so immune to scandals because under this present administration, there is at least 2 or 3 scandals every week. This administration that fought Dom Level for allegedly being a year over 61, the man that was surcharging people. This Auditor General has not surcharged anybody. He was planted there. And even him, with all these coming out, you can see is probably under pressure. There is more, I suspect, that will be there. If he has identified all these MMDAs and why is he not surcharging them? That's what his job is. Printing this and not doing anything about it does not hold anything.
Mr. Tegbe, that was a brilliant contribution.
Ghanaians should wake up. Ghanaians are not angry enough. Let's educate ourselves and let's weed out the hypocrites that keep trying to throw dust in our eyes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. I like the fact that you put the analysis together and then you think people should wise up. Anyway, good morning again, Sabato. It's not yet 12 o'clock. We're here till 1 o'clock on summary of the Hits Africa Radio with Dr. MORTON. Sabato, you're welcome back.
Yeah, thank you, Doctor. Good morning once again.
Good morning. The Ghana card.
Well, Doctor, like...
do you have one? Do you intend to have one?
No, I haven't. I don't have one.
If you go to Ghana, would you have the horns to stand on your ground and say that, look, I'm not having the Ghana card because it doesn't make sense?
Oh, this is a question I asked one day. We were on the radio having a debate with one of the, I think, Sribo Kweku came to that program. And this is the question I asked. And there was no answer to say, oh, for instance, let's say I just pop in Ghana and there is a registration going on for register to vote. And in which I don't have a Ghana card. I only have a Ghana passport. So how do I register? So clearly I have asked Dr. Sribo Kweku himself on one of the radio debates. There was no answer. And I have asked our Director of Relations, Dr. Honorable Afriya Ankra as well. There was no answer. So clearly, I think it's like my previous caller said, it's something that the government want to use it to gain his own power. If not, we don't know. We have not seen anything that if you don't have Ghana card, that I've said it time and time on your program. A time will come, they will say, if we don't have a Ghana card, you are not a Ghanaian. Clearly, yeah, and if care is not taken, that thing will happen. Why am I saying that? Because anytime that you hear the government want to say, it's like claiming, oh, Ghana card is the most important, to extend that our vice president will go and stood up and say, Ghana card is important than 1,000 interchanges. So clearly, you can see, but Doctor, I keep on asking, what is in the Ghana card that we don't have it in our passport?
Well, I think Sir Gabu would have to answer you that because
what I know is the Ghana card is biometric finger captured,
right,
same as our passport.
right.
Even the previous voter card and the current one. So I don't see why it has become everywhere that you go, they say Ghana card. And because the government is not putting in place where people will access it so easily. Ghana card, some people that live far will even at this time of fuel going up, transport fee, balloon, people still manage to make themselves available to the various offices of NIA. Yes, so they will tell you that, oh, the system is not working, our network is not on, so go and come back. And unless maybe you go through your pocket, then they will find a ways and means to make your card for you. So clearly, for me, like I said, this is the Ghana card that we debate on. The vice president again said that, oh, it's allowed to travel with it. And it was banter. You know, the foreign minister, they summoned her on floor of parliament and then said that, oh, at the moment, as far as the minister of foreign is concerned, there's no way you can travel with your Ghana card. So clearly what the vice president said was no. Even just last month ago, there was a forum here at the Ghana High Commission in which Papa Uswankuma and the deputy foreign minister was there as well. And this issue of traveling with the Ghana card came on, and you could see the way they were struggling to explain, all because the vice president has already committed making thought about the Ghana card. So for somebody to say, oh, if you are traveling outside from Ghana and you don't need maybe you don't need a visa, but if you hold a Ghana passport, you don't need a visa to travel to Ghana. Or doctor, do you need a visa to travel to Ghana with your Ghana passport? So why then the Ghana card comes in? So clearly, this is a frustrated government. This is a government that has mismanaged everything, included their own families. So for them to be making a lot of things that is not appropriate, clearly, we need to stand up as a Ghanaian. I'm hoping somebody somewhere will go to the court and seek maybe clarity about why do we need to do everything with the Ghana card.
Okay.
Unless maybe come again.
You have 4 minutes.
Unless maybe the judges maybe at the moment will maybe change their stand, because doctor, and also on that forum that I talk about, the Ghana High Commission for it came that nowadays our birth certificate is in question at the British, let's say at the Home Office. Have you noticed that? Mm-hmm. They said that on that day that for the past 2 years, our Ghana birth certificate has been in question when it comes to the Home Office application. So somebody asked, why is it that? Is it because our Supreme Court said that our birth certificate doesn't say that you are purely a Ghanaian? Is that the reason why the Home Office is also doubting our birth certificate? So you see, sometimes we make things like, say, Gabo government, because they wanted to make sure that they cut some numbers of the voter register, they make things, and now those same things that they did, it has come back to bite some Ghanaians.
Has a question for you. It said, you're always speaking for the NDC. It referred Mr. Tegben yourself. Is let's say anybody else who is a sympathizer or a member of the NDC. Your current speaker is referring to the ambulance, lifting up injured person to hospital. He always speaks for the NDC. Yes, his party couldn't import the required ambulances we need in the country, it took Nanado to import more than 300 into Ghana. Is he being honest with himself too? Well, Tegba has been asking if the country is being honest. And so when you come back, sir, I know you can whisper into my ears, but I like it for the sake of the public who hardly hear me.
No,
so
no problem.
What you have. I know you would like to retract, react to this statement. Yes, about to go on. You were saying, yeah. This is for those of you who say Nanado has not done anything, especially if Joe is listening. At least this is what he's done. You could have equally brought all these ambulances together.
Doctor.
Yes, sir.
Is that to me or to Sabato?
I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know why Segaku think of us. Clearly, we are NDC, not just an NDC. We spoke for NDC
I
as
like
well.
the confidence of the party you claim you are. You talk about the NDC.
Yeah.
You hit your head.
Yeah.
Your heart.
Yeah. So for him to say that, is it because we did not brought in the ambulance to keep them for like more than 1 year, or because we wanted to make a political gain with it? No, there was ambulance before these ambulances came in. It's a Gago telling us that there was no ambulance before this ambulance, doctor. Is it what you want to say?
All right, I'm sure when he comes back, you come and answer that.
Yeah, so clearly, I think this kind of questions are below the belt. Clearly, even if you carry somebody with an ambulance, where do you take the person to, doctor? Doctor?
To hospital, of course.
Thank you. And has Nana Akufo-Addo built any one hospital at the moment? This is the president who stood up in television, national TV, announced that due to the COVID, we are going to build 88 hospitals in a year. He said this in a year of election. And election gone by, the year gone by, same Nana Akufo-Addo came back and said, oh, now we are thinking of adding more to make it Agenda 111. As I'm talking to you now, doctor, there is no even that Agenda 111, there is no even one hospital that was built. Upon all the amount that IMF, World Bank, they give it to us because of the COVID.
You have 2 minutes.
The president could not use any of this fund to complete one project. So you see, me, those Gago, like I said, I've known Gago on radio. We have been debating since then, since when? But clearly, they all know that they sit at their homes whilst eating, while doing anything. They know sure that this is the worst government we have ever had. Nana Akufo-Addo is the most wicked president we have ever had. Nana Akufo-Addo is the most thinking, the most useless, the most super incompetent we have had. Gago himself, he knows. So me, sometimes I wonder when he comes to the radio and defend, why can't the so-called people who speak for the party come to your program and defend the party? No, they cannot, because there is nothing to come and say here. There is nothing that they can justify. Say, Gago, somebody who has lived in advanced democracy, still coming to your program defending this MPP? Oh no, it look like maybe you are not in advanced country, because if you are in advanced country, you should be worried about the happenings under the leadership of Nana Akufo-Addo. So clearly, it's not in any news or any doubt anymore. Everybody in Ghana knows that at the moment, Nana Akufo-Addo is the weakest, is somebody who cannot be trusted. And he has broke a lot of his promises, Doctor.
Thank you.
Talking about the National Cathedral now how is the state of the National Cathedral?
Well, so
after spending a lot of money, they put a lot of money in.
Well, the cathedral is unstoppable. Very soon.
Thank you. They stop it because there is no money fund. And this is the This is Nana Kufado's record.
Salaam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, doctor.
Thank you. Right. Tegbe, can you before you come in, let me get Joe, and then I'd like you to respond to the ambulance that I was taking to the hospital issue from Segabo. Is that all right?
Yes.
Okay. So let me get.
If Joe is not ready, I can respond to that now.
It's ringing. I'm thinking. Yeah, Joe.
Yeah, Doc.
Right. So we have switched to another grounds. We're talking about the Ghana card. How essential is the Ghana card?
First of all, I think there are one or two issues I would want to correct here. So if you would give me the opportunity,
I'm sure
to do
it's
that.
about Gabu. You want to clarify something?
Yeah. There are some clarifications. Yeah. First of all,
I appreciate the fact that you take him like an uncle, and he also take you like.
Oh yeah, I mean,
so one of these days, maybe
you
can sit down with a Guinness. How about that?
No, it's not just only about Segabo. Every man is a father.
Okay.
And Mr. Tegbe is my father. Sabato is my father. Everyone is my father.
Okay.
Every man is a father. The same way every woman is a mother. So for me, I hold that in very high esteem. But it is also good to point out to Segabo that yes, I am a proud Absunian. And I happen to swap class with Hakman Uso Ajiman's son. Hakman Uso Ajiman of MPP fame, you know. I think he's now the, Council of Elders. He's part of the Council of Elders, chairman or whatever.
Know,
so
when I miss when you had the guru, like, what's his name? Tony Edu.
Tony Edu.
All these gurus who were NDC.
Yeah, and
anyway.
Dr. Kusindum was also an Absunian. And so I am proud, and I am proud to say I am not a Catholic, but I am proud to have attended a Catholic school. But you see, one thing Gabo said, and I respect.
Before
what
you go
said.
on, let me read something from the Facebook. Is stripping it with a lot of messages. Somebody said, "Doc, I need some of your coffee." Dr. Smiley say, in what ways can we make whatever good the administration is doing better? Now, to this question will help address many issues that goes on in our country. And it goes on to say, in what ways can whatever good, I think it's repetitive of what he was saying, will help us. Okay, that's fine. All right, go on, Joe.
Yeah, so one of the things St. Augustine taught me, and I think it's as a result of the principles of the Catholic Church, is to be fearless, honest, and truthful. You understand? No matter how you are fearless, no matter how you speak in being fearless, in being honest, in being respectful, even if you have to insult people, so to be honest, you have to do it. It told me to be bold.
Okay, so that is under duress. It's not something you would want to. Okay.
One thing St. Augustine's College and Catholic beliefs didn't teach me is dishonesty, and which is the contrast between me and Segabo. Yes, he might not like the way I speak. He might think I insult and all that, but I am honest, and that is the thing. Now the question is, Segabo, if he sit down on a dining table with his children, would he prefer a child who is dishonest, who is truthful but speaks in a way he thinks is no good, or prefers a father who is dishonest? Which one would he prefer? So you see, Ghanaians are dying. And we expect our fathers, our mothers, our great-grandparents and all that to come out and tell the truth to Ghanaians that, look, our president is failing. He's not looking at the plight of Ghanaians. He's not addressing the issues Ghanaians are confronted with. Instead, our parents are rather focusing on how someone speaks. The issue at stake is not important. Segabo spent about 8 minutes of his time addressing me, trying to correct me.
And so
yes,
he didn't yield to the topic.
I respect his, but you see, one thing is, if I am speaking the truth, I will not apologize for any of my words. If the things I'm saying, and on this platform, I think even we are four on now talking, and including even yourself, making us fight. You agree with me, all about 4 of you agree with me that the things I'm saying are the facts. The Auditor General report, which is filled with corruption, did I write the report? Was it me who wrote the report?
Well, it's like
no, Akufo-Addo sleeping with Sewa Broni. Did I take Sewa Broni into the fight?
I'm only giving something in reference to what you said.
If I am saying the president is immoral, what is wrong with it? He has taken a woman who is about 3 times his age into a flight to have sex with. If I say that, you say you don't speak well, your language is. Did I tell him to take the woman into the flight? You see, yesterday, and he was talking about me saying something about Kofi Ali. The Bible said, when Cain's offering was not accepted, God asked Cain, why are you downcast? Why are you upset? If you had done good, would your sacrifice not have been accepted? If Akufo-Addo has done what is right, would I insult him?
No. Okay.
See,
I was making reference to this.
The conversation.
All right. So listen, Are you also going to use the rest of your time to talk about Segabo? I ask you about the Ghana card. You've already done 5 minutes on Segabo.
You also, I haven't done 5 minutes. You also need to sometimes intervene in some of these situations.
Well, to be honest with you, I agree.
If you ask him, Segabo, I'm coming. Let me. If you ask Segabo,
okay.
Joe is saying also his words are not good, is profane, blah blah blah. But what Joe is saying, is that not the truth?
Well, with the issue of morals, you are very right. I mean, a man is meant to have his wife.
What one says.
So with that, I think I agree with you. But I'm saying that just as you're saying you didn't write the auditor's report or whatever you claim you didn't do, I've forgotten what it is. Just like a pastor preaching the word of God. If he says anything in the Bible, he can't be held responsible because that's not his. He didn't write the word of God. Now we're looking at the perspective of political what's the word? Well, so dispensation, or we're talking about the statutory of politics. I'm looking at it from that point of view, that whatever another chooses to do with his life, what we require from him as a president is to serve us. You understand? So, well, we need a clean man to serve us. That is fair enough. But then, if I don't want to take much of your time, so that when I stop you, say I interfered you. So you land, and then
you've taken 3 minutes of my time. You see, there is a reason why the Constitution. There's a reason why the Constitution provided room that a madman cannot contest for election or to be elected as a public servant. And so if we see a president acting as a madman, it is important we call him a madman. That is the point. There is no way of you being apologetic about calling a madman a madman. A madman is a madman. When Jesus Christ went into the temple, Jesus Christ, if you read the Bible, it says, let us do this. So if you read the Bible, it will mean that Jesus Christ created the heaven and earth with God. Because let us do this, and it was done. So someone did it. So we, as Christians, we believe Jesus Christ did that. Even him, who created man and woman, he went into the temple.
So you decided not to talk about the Ghana card?
I'll talk about it.
What time? Because your time is running out.
Because what they were doing, the things they were doing were foolish acts. And if anyone does any foolish act, he's a fool. And you don't need to be sorry about calling someone a fool if he's a fool. You understand? So I am saying, I have not called Akufo-Addo whatever he is saying. It is his act that is making that.
Yes, that is why I said yesterday that he did not say that Akufo-Addo has no certificates. He only.
Okay, let me go. Listen. You go for a job interview.
Okay.
You are a journalist. You go to BBC. You've told them you are a journalist. And the one who is interviewing, the employer who is interviewing you for the job tells you, do you have, I don't think you have a certificate. And you say, and so what? What does that mean?
Okay.
I don't think you have a certificate.
Yes.
And you say, and so what?
Yes.
What
So
does that
I
mean?
was saying,
what does that mean?
That is what I was saying.
No. Give me an answer. Give me another. What does that mean?
Yeah, but you don't listen. Do you believe that not every question?
I'm taking my time. I want
yeah,
a concrete answer.
Okay, don't worry. I'll give you extra 2 minutes. But let me say this. That's why I'm saying that he did not. read my lips. He did not say verbally. That's what I said to you. He didn't say
so
verbally.
and so what was it verbally, and so what was it verbally?
Yes. So that is why I said that
what?
it is from the way he constructed the sentence. This won't make you conclude that Anadu is saying Anadu has no certificate. This is what I'm saying.
You see, I don't need even say Gabo to tell me that Nanado does not have a certificate.
That's
we all know he
enough.
doesn't have a certificate,
That
which is a fact.
Fair enough.
But only that he only further endorsed our belief and kind of put a stamp on it. And so that's it. And then to also talk about Holy Ghost. So does that mean all the Muslims who don't believe the Holy Ghost, they speak profane or they insult people? I mean, Mr. Gabo, this you are talking about logic here. This is a child's logic. Do you know my belief? Do you know who I believe in? And you are talking about Holy Ghost. You are coming to use Holy Ghost to intimidate me. Segabo, please, let us not go there. Because if Kofi Ali would come and talk about being baptized with the Holy Ghost, were you there? And that's why Akufo-Addo is lying to us about this cathedral. He comes to tell us, I have a vow with my God. Who is your God? The God who told you to go and sleep with Sewa Bruni, or which God? The God who created Adam and Eve, who created men to think
your time is up.
God. My time isn't up. Please. You told me you were going to give me 2 minutes. And you see, look.
Are you talking about the Ghana card or not?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about it. We have visited this issue on us. The moment that Supreme Court, which said the passport and the birth certificate were irrelevant, was the moment we all got mad. It was the moment the country was put into a state of no return. And so for this Ghana card issue, it is madness, it is insensitive, and it is not even needful. Because look, we have the drive, and Segabo also made reference to this country and all that. Look, this country, what is so important than the passport and even sometimes even how do you call it, your driver's license. Your driver's license could be used in place of your, how do you call it, your passport at some point. And we have all these things already in there. Now, if we had money to kind of use in implementing any other thing, why don't we rather strengthen the institution that we're going to issue the passport and issue the driver's license, so that the passport could be an enviable one within the sub-region or within even the international community? Why don't we invest that money into making our driver's license, so that the lapses, the holes that are into issuance of passport and driver's license, and even our voters register, we kind of close those gaps? But instead, the black man thinking, and this is not even about the black, it is Akufo-Addo and their mentality, their thinking, is that we want to find ways and means. You see, the issue of this Ghana card is all about rigging election. And I have heard somewhere, and take it from me, I have heard somewhere, the MPP has conducted a survey, and the survey indicates to them that even if they bring my child who was born just last 2 weeks, if they bring my child against even Akufo-Addo now, they will lose the election. So
okay, thank you very much.
Is that...
Right, Mr. Tegbe.
Doctor.
Yes, sir.
That was a very abrupt end to Joe's submission, but thank you regardless.
No, but I've given the man 2 3, and then he's still talking about 5 minutes anyway.
Not a problem. I am glad we're on this ambulance issue. You see, there is something about vision and wisdom that your actions and utterances will always bring to bear. For a person who does not believe in building hospitals, but believes in buying cars and parking the cars, ambulances are life-saving instruments, and parking them in the State House for a year plus to release them at the time of election, I do not think that is anything to be commending. But as you asked, yes, John Mahama had the Oniado vans. The same John Mahama who built over 2,000 chip compounds around the country. If at any time I say something that's not true, you need to highlight that so the listeners can know. Person with a vision. What is the use of a car that you cannot go anywhere with? The car that you are charging people for petrol. What good is that? The same ambulances that we saw carrying cement, being used for all other things. I hope you remember the propaganda that was indulged in by the MPP about the Oniado vans. They're being used to carry dead bodies. What good is an ambulance if it cannot carry a dead body? Should a dead body be put in a commercial vehicle?
Well,
where other people are going to be sat in, instead of a vehicle that is equipped to deal with life and death situations? There were so many publications. The Minister of Information, the young kid, Kojo Oponkruma, was one of the people that was shouting everywhere that the vehicles were not fit for purpose. Where were the ambulances ordered from? The 300 ambulances. Was it not the same provider? We heard about fraud. So why is there no prosecution being done? They put together shabbily a case, it didn't go anywhere. This is why I say people should open their eyes and see through, because the person who is being accused and the person who is giving you false information for you to be angry at somebody, they're on two different levels. Now, all the hardcore MPP propaganda people have become counselors, talking about how somebody should present their facts, how somebody should be respectful. What is it to do with you? Does the one individual who you deem is speaking out of 10, does that surpass the national worry? We are in a country where people are suffering. People are parking their cars because they cannot afford to buy fuel. And you're talking about how somebody presented an information, somebody is carrying hate around. Is it your burden? If you're worried about one person that you dedicate your 8 minutes to come and speak about, but you are not able to speak about the person who is spending taxpayers' money, squandering, had a jet leased and parked in Accra when there was no travel going on in the world, and you ask a question to distract people when they're making submissions about honesty? Doctor, have you seen the Oniado vans? Have you seen the inside of the Oniado vans at any point? Any pictures?
No.
I will implore you to try and have a look, and also look at the things that Mercedes that have been ordered, and you make the comparison. And next week, maybe you will lead the conversation on that. It is very important that when issues come up like this, we set these records straight. It's a shame. In 2019, when these vehicles came out, these ambulances, they were packed. 96 of them were packed at the State House, awaiting distribution. Now, when this distribution was being awaited, what had been done in the hospitals in preparation for receiving people that come in with ambulances? Well, we're still talking of lack of beds. Did we have a functioning emergency response system in place? Do we even currently still have it? It is not just doing things that showboat and not bothering to see through the functionality, like how we did the free SHS. Can you boast now of a stable education sector? The youth are being gambled with. Red, green, gold, whatever system that is in place. I have no idea now. I'll speak to one friend, their kid is going to school, the next friend, the kid's same age is in the house. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. Everything is a mixed match. We had a Minister of Energy coming to say it's doomsday when power cuts happened, that people were on the poles repairing or doing work on the power lines. That is why power is being scheduled. I mean, what more of an insult can you give your citizenry than this? It is not only calling somebody or likening somebody to an animal. What you pretty much mean is that the people that are listening to you will not to anything. They'll be like the wild beast, just follow everything you say. The woman that died in the ambulance because she couldn't afford the petrol, did you hear anything about it? After that, nothing. This is where we are as a country. We have an Auditor General's report to be looking at, and we have people coming in to single out people. And I have something that I'm going to put on this air. Last week it happened where a panelist's full name was mentioned. Today, the school he attended is also being highlighted. In the current climate where people, same thing happened to Ahmed Swale. Your panelist who is fond of doing that needs to be careful, or doctor, you need to draw a line on it. It is not his job if he has no malice. We have seen these tactics at play, and it's not going to fly. Trying to air people, trying to finger people so that something happens to them, nothing is going to happen. And anything that happens, the repercussions will be on his own head. Quoting the Bible whilst lying is a curse unto one's own self. That's also in the Bible.
Right.
So this hypocrisy of pretending that you do not know what's going on, but all of a sudden you're so concerned about somebody's hate they're carrying in their heart, by ignoring the other 30 million people that are suffering, that you want to be giving advice and be typing unnecessary grammar and using your time to filibuster, it needs to stop, doctor. That ID issue, as a journalist, I'm putting it on your toes to remember what happened to Ahmed Swale. We were in the same universe where somebody in power advertised his picture, made an offer, put a contract out on his head on live TV. And we all know the end result of that till today. Nothing is coming in place. That person was rewarded with then heading a security
that
council.
issue really saddens my heart, you know.
It saddens your heart. So it should not be happening on this show where somebody makes it his job to be airing somebody's full name, to be airing the school that he went to, as if he's trying to connect some dots for people listening. It doesn't really matter. We're here to address issues.
He only gives credence to the school, but that's all.
Doctor, I am an analyst. I spoke about this last week when it happened the first time. I'm speaking about it again today. I'm connecting those dots. I personally don't appreciate it. Maybe the person involved does not.
I think you were rather threatening us.
By putting Ahmed Swale's record on issue, I am citing this so that everybody is aware. Because if anything does happen to this gentleman whose details are being said, then we all know where to be looking. We will be laughing and be saying, oh, yeah, he doesn't mean it, he doesn't mean it. By the time we realize Ahmed was shot in the daytime in front of his own house.
I have been talking about the fact that Ghana is known to be a peaceful, and people assume it's a Christian country. And so with this civil war that has happened, you know, all these places could never happen in Ghana. But yes, I understand this is how it started. These people want to be aggressive.
Doctor, all it takes is for one bad egg pretending to be super intelligent to pull a stunt like this, and somebody else does something, and by the time you realize, you have a situation on your hand. This should not be happening. We need to draw a line on that. If someone wants, out of their own hypocrisy, to bury their head in the sand and pretend they don't know what the president is doing, he should not be putting anybody's safety as his ace card to get recognition. It's very despicable. When people use words that are descriptive and they are not false, you have no locus to be correcting them. When somebody says something that's falsehood, yes, you can chip in and say this submission you made was false because of A, B, and C. But I don't like how you presented it. I'm only advising you. No, advise your own self. And look at the person who we are paying taxes to. The person who, under whose leadership, petrol has been increased over 20 times this year. You're not concerned about that. The only president in our history whose nude pictures are plastered all over the place. And you say, so what? The only president who has been accused.
To be honest with you, as far as fraud, I don't see one ground to conclude that is really Akufo-Addo, especially with the sheriff and all that. Well, I'm not.
You want us to take time and do this? Remember, I quoted.
What I'm saying is, I don't say that I want to see a caption or a picture.
I can send you the video.
That's not what I'm saying.
I don't mind sending you the video, doctor.
But
if it's something that interests you, I will send you the video.
I think it's a dead issue. I think it's long gone issue. Though it's become a scam, and it's become
Article 69 of our Constitution, doctor, is any act that brings the office into disrepute. These conversations should not even be happening.
It's a shame, man.
But they are happening because of the act of the said president. Our constitution, the forebearers thought about all of this and they wrote against it. So that we know that there is a clear-cut path to toe when these things happen. It is not left for opinions to be aired, for feelings to be attached to it. This is why there's always documents like this to guide us. Because if you leave it for tribal bigotry to set in, if you leave it for ostriches to set in, if you leave it for people's emotions to kick in, every issue might take 20, 30 years and you will not find a solution for it. So you have to have a baseline, which is the Constitution, to go to. What does the Constitution say? Because that is where the oath is sworn to abide by. So if you're not abiding by this, what is next? Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. We cannot be having conversations pretending we do not know these documents exist.
You have 4 minutes.
The real fact that we are faced with today is that the most abysmal government that we have had in the history of the motherland is under this current president. The biggest frauds we have had in the history of this country is under this president. Agenda 111, over 33 million was spent on designing the logo. You are aware of this, Doctor?
Of course.
Can you point to one hospital that has been completed?
Well, so as far as I'm concerned, this government says it's doing what we call an abstract development. It's not everything we can possibly see in our eyes, because
hospitals are not built on emails.
Care,
Doctor,
even if the NDC
hospitals cannot be built on emails. You cannot go to hospital via any email system in Ghana. People are suffering. People can't drive. To fuel the ambulances.
Well, it's everywhere.
The showboating
crisis in this country is skyrocketing as well. I mean, it's everywhere. Things are hard everywhere.
And Doctor, thank you for bringing this country in. What is the minimum wage in this country?
Well, so we're not looking at.
So when we do this comparison of Ghana and the Western world,
I see that is when you making references to, like, say, Gabu said, for this country, for example, which I don't agree anyway, because people are there.
He said all of that to avoid answering your question. Doctor, sometimes you got to call a spade as it is. 10 minutes, he was talking about Joe. You knew he was avoiding your question. That was it. I have cited now, in response to your ambulance question, that the Oniado vans were bought. 2,000 cheap compounds were built by John Mahama. 2,000 plus, in addition to the hospitals that he did. The Bank of Ghana Hospital, the Senate Hospital, the Dodowa Hospital, the Afari Military Hospital that we have all seen with equipment left to rot because somebody's personal ego will not let him go and make that functional. Is that not causing financial loss? People in that region should be demonstrating on a weekly basis, demanding that that facility is made available for their use. Which region has the biggest amount of funerals every year or every weekend in Ghana? You have a world-class facility sitting there, about 2% or thereabout for completion, oxygen tank sitting in the sun, with army people guarding it. Now, this is my call to our state security people. No one is immune to health issues. No one is immune to economic troubles. When you swear allegiance to protect the nation, but you are clearly aware that you're being given orders that contradict what you have been trained to do, if you went through the proper training, not the shortcut training. It is, you have procedures that you can speak. You have procedures that you can voice out your displeasure and make your point so that you are not used as a tool to victimize your own cousin, to victimize your own neighbors. Now we have guards on our fire hospital to prevent people from making a recording. Saglami housing, then all the noise that was made. Doctor, why was Atachian gotten rid from the government. That 7 million issue, we never saw head or tail of it. Big English in responding to issues has not brought closure. Ghanaians need to wake up. The only viable force currently in the country to take up the mantle, who by their record has done anything to look at, is the NDC. Step out, find your local branch, get involved. Do not sit down and say, there is nothing like neutral. You get involved so that you know who's being elected. You get involved so your voice can be heard. You get involved that everything that you abhor about this government, you see to it with your blood, sweat, and toil to be eradicated. Ghana belongs to all of us. Ghana does not belong to a family. Ghana does not belong to a certain group of people that might think they are superior to none. But here's the case. What has the record shown? Performance is what will bring you the record. All the grand pomp, showing up at big parties, doing all of that, it's not governance. You can hire any plane you want, it's not governance. The reality is, how are your people feeling? I pray that when government changes hand, which it surely should 2024, auditing is something that will be done to the teeth, nitty-gritty. All these things that have been highlighted, people brought to book, and people that helped in putting together fraudulent cases to put before court should all, and the judges that took part in that should all. I am happy that you spoke that we're a peace-loving country. Yes, we are. But there is no peace when there is no justice. People do not wake up every day or any day and think, oh, can I do to destabilize my country? No, that's not how we should be looking at it. It is what is causing people to feel the unrest. Who is behind what is that cause that's making people feel like this? What are we paying a COVID levy for? And I think I asked this question last month. Do you know of any other country? Because I'm still trying to find out which other countries pay a COVID levy. Can you indulge me and point me in that direction?
Don't go there. We've only got about 30 minutes to go, sir.
I am going there, doctor. These are the things that people are not aware of. So when you have an MPP stalwart that comes on air and speaks of honesty and talks about airlifting and asks if John Mahama did any airlifting. Ghana, from time immemorial, we go to hospitals. People carry people and walk to hospitals. He's built hospitals. It's a process. If you don't have where you're taking the people, why are you going to buy the car? There is no sense in that statement. With no apologies. You build a hospital where people can be treated, whether they're going to be dragged first or they're going to be carried on horseback. Then you buy a car that takes them there. If you buy a car, you don't have anywhere to take them. When UGMC was done, even the health minister was saying it's a Photoshop project. It didn't exist. And God should not be mocked. When he got COVID and he went there to recuperate, he also issued a statement that he was not sick. He was only there to relax. Which minister in Ghana will leave his home in a pandemic to go and relax in a hospital? What is in that hospital? It means the hospital must be really, really good, surpassing what you have in your home. We need to be wary of the snakes that are amongst us. We need to be wary of the hypocrites that are walking our path, pretending today to be counselors when he sues them, tomorrow to be wise men, the next time they've got sharp teeth, when they want to exhibit some tribal bigotry. These are the dangerous people. These are the people that the president relies on.
Statement referring to hypocrites who are now speaking the truth. You directly referred, especially when Kwesi Chedakwa said John Mahama, he's realized was the best, and he did apologize for not, seeing him as such, and feels disappointed.
My reason for using that word hypocrisy regarding the KKD issue was a statement that he made that he just realized this was going on.
Like you expected him to know this all this while.
Doctor, we have been shouting this. Everybody knows about this. When you say you just realized that weekend that finance minister was benefiting from loans being brought into the country, this has been in the limelight. I, for myself, have been shouting about this. I know other comrades have been making publications. Honorable Adongo, Honorable Forsen, they have been on air, they have written about this, they have gone to pains of using their knowledge to expose the fraud that has been perpetuated by this finance minister. Where has KKD been all this time? As for motive, it's not my job to judge that, because you posed a question the other day and I said, I will not go into that. He's a Ghanaian. If he wants to make a play for anything, so be it. But that statement in isolation, I just realized was my problem. Because the subterfuge has been to bear. Even the feeding of COVID people for 54 million in 3 weeks, cooked food. The Kinky Party, 2019. What was the party about? Oh, I am so excited that I borrowed money. Really?
You have a minute to
what
go.
What kind of people are we? In my minute, I'm appealing to Ghanaians. You're not doing this for me, so I'm not begging. You're doing this for you, for myself, and for your external family. Compare records. NDC is your only hope in this current time to rescue Ghana. NDC is the only party poised and ready to take power and govern and retrieve all the stolen money from this cabal that calls itself a government, and also hold accountable the hypocrites parading the streets, people that were actively misinforming people, and anyone that's been indulging in state capture. I pray to God gets brought to book so that this country will never be revisited with such a plague again. I yield my time.
Thank you very much, guys. So we've got about nearly 25 to 20 minutes. Still have a bit of time. And so we'll keep dealing with this. But I want to believe that, you know, those who are listening and those texting me and all that, it's not that we being particularly concerned about people who are being partisan, whether or not the performance of whatever party is wrong and they overlook at it. Well, some of the times we analyze the way people, you know, rule the country, and we take that into consideration. So when it's wrong, we'll say it. When it's not, we're going to say it as well. Since Mr. Tegbe is still here, I'm getting messages and feedback saying that the NPP, with their performance, have even overstayed their power. Well, there are laws governing this palm of times, and so until they finish, we can't get rid of them. I've decided to come back to Mr. Tegbe, who is also on the line. I know people are still trying to call him, not me to feel biased, but Mr. Tegbe, come here. Can I ask you this?
Yes. What do you need to know?
I know that we've spoken a little bit about the fact that there are ways we can, you know, deal with this government, though the time is not up. You've sent me a few grounds and a few backings. Would that not be unfair if the government has not finished serving its term, is being threatened with being overthrown and all that? Don't you know, the grounds for treason, even if it's an individuals? Okay, let me
Doctor, let me cast your mind back.
Joe will not allow me to come back to you because he feels this is 10. And so
not a problem.
Anyway, yeah, Joe, Mr. Tegbe says it's not a problem, but I think you are right. It's got your 10 because I even made you speak a while because I couldn't find anybody. Anyway, Joe, I didn't give you much time to talk about. Oh yeah, Sir Gabu. Okay, what I'm going to do is, to be honest with you, Sir Gabu, you spoke before, Sir Gabu, so you want to be very quick with me, and I'll come back to Sir Gabu, please.
Well, I will let you go to him and then come back to me.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. You're really a good Samaritan. The Holy Spirit will bless you truly, as you said. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to go to Sir Gabu, who he feels, I'm sure he wanted to say something because they both couldn't talk to me much about the Ghana card. He literally didn't answer me. He didn't say anything. And so let me get to Sir
He had to go for clearance.
Over.
Dr. Morton.
Yeah, what's up with you? In fact, forgive me. I think it was your turn when I got Joe, but your son Joe says he will let his uncle speak before he comes in, with due respect.
What are you saying, sir?
Well, so Joe, I paid Joe. Joe called in thinking it was his turn. It was his turn, and I thought, you know what? Even Segabo was also there. So, at the expense of you calling, Joe has decided to let you talk. So with that, you respect because you are his uncle.
You know what? When I hear our brothers and sisters in NDC,
okay,
on the radio talking, communicating, I laugh. I always laugh.
Why do you laugh? Does it amuse you?
It amuses me.
Why?
You know, they know they are losing this again. That's why your last speaker was talking.
They know they're losing.
And they know. So
they're losing what? I just want to hear Mantini. They're losing what?
They have lost the power and they're going to lose again.
Oh, okay.
And they are losing it again.
24. Is that what you're talking about?
They are losing, like they're not coming anywhere.
All right, that's your observation. We will see.
Do you think if Ghanaians truly believe that, then this did what they claim they did? Building hospitals, infrastructure, that. You think Ghanaians who have voted and are now into power? More than 1 million votes? The second round, more than 500,000, half of a million? Never in the history of the country?
Yeah.
Never in the history of the country?
I'm sure they are listening.
So when I hear them talking, when I hear my brothers about we are coming back, we are the most organized party, I drink a lot of coffee, you know. When I hear that, I laugh, I always laugh. I've never believed a jot, whatever they say there. Whatever. Okay. The ambulance, they took $35 million building Commander Sugar Factory. They could not produce a kilo of sugar. This party which voted into power, 4 years of Druso, 4 years of Druso. My goodness, what are they talking about? Since 1918, let's look at who brought free education in Ghana. Nana Akufo-Addo. He looked around and said that no, everybody must go to school. It took one person in the person of Nana Akufo-Addo. Nana Akufo-Addo, for more than 30 million Ghanaians, 60 years, for one person to believe in an idea that we shall use our money to ensure that every child at a school-going age will go to school. If any person had emerged as a leader, wouldn't have gotten this. It was only Nana who believed in that. It was only he, because he knew what education has done for him. He knows what education has done for him. It took only one person, Nana Akufo-Addo. If any person had emerged from NPP, I know for sure, wouldn't have gotten this. But we now, within 6 years of Nanado's administration, we have more than 1.8 million, almost 2 million Ghanaians going to school free, additional 2 million. Because we were able to bring in 300,000, additional 300,000 students who have been roaming around the streets, 300,000. So we have additional 1.6 million Ghanaians coming to school or going to school, 3 HS. It took one person. Who brought the NHIS in Ghana? Who? It didn't come from NDC. So of course, when we talk about when we find oil, they said, "Oh, I don't know." When you find oil, almost I don't know. When you brought what is it? There's another policy there. I was saying because you say you cohen go for and go for look at this NDC. You see, it's only about physical infrastructures. We are talking about something that will benefit every Ghanaian. They haven't got a clue. So when they come there and they talk this, I laugh. So we don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. NDC, Rollins had all the time, 19 years of not going to parliament. We changed the country. Their leader, Rollins, he had 19 years to do that. He could not do anything. Today they are talking about, so when you're talking about ID card, they will never believe because they have never believed in anything anyway. And they have not had any attractive alternative to the Ghanaians. They have not been able to provide any attractive alternative. Which hospital did they build initially? Which hospital on their records? Did they start from the scratch and build? Which hospital? If Ghanaians knew that, are all Ghanaians fools? That if NDC had done this for them, they wouldn't have voted for them? Are all Ghanaians fools? If you are talking about the cathedral, well, from a current point of view, if you are talking about allocative efficiency, maybe it's not a priority. Maybe I can't say that. But Dr. Morton, let me say this.
Okay.
Are you there, Mr. Morton? Are you there?
I'm very well. I'm here. I'm listening to you. You're live on air.
We are all born in Ghana. Where do you have the gold from? Where do you have all the minerals? All the gold given things to us in Ghana? Who brought them? Who brought them? It's not my father. It's not Joseph Nkrumah's. Not anybody's father. It was God who gave this into us. If as a Christian country, if we build a cathedral for God Almighty, who created us, what is wrong with that? What is wrong? We build a cathedral for God, who created all the things that we have in the country. What is wrong with that? What is wrong? Maybe it's not a priority, but what is wrong with the idea that we are building a cathedral? Is it a crime that you are building something to honor God, our Creator?
But what is the essence of the cathedral to you?
What is the essence of cathedral?
Yeah.
Yes, you are asking what is the essence of cathedral. We see we are a spiritual country. We are a Christian country. We are building something that will be a monumental honor for the God who even created us.
Okay,
we are saying that we will create a lot of. You're going to create a lot of. We're going to have a lot of tourism. It will be part of our agenda to promote tourism in the country.
Yeah, but don't you think there are more grieving issues than this?
I'm saying that's why I use that in terms of allocating efficiency. We can say that it is not a priority. But the idea that we are being at all is not a crime.
Okay.
The idea that we are being is not a crime at all. Maybe we can take our time the next 100 years. But the idea that we are building is not a crime.
When I ask you a question, what you tell me is what it meant. I didn't say it was a crime. I only asked you the purpose and then the reason, the rationale behind building a cathedral. So I just wanted to know from the way you started. Are you saying it's for the spiritual
I'm saying that
purpose?
it's part of our tourism agenda.
Okay, that's
tourism agenda in the country, project policy, the government policy.
I think you
that eventually it will also lead it. Don't you see a lot of people coming to this country, going to Buckingham Palace and other places? Don't you see that? People going to France and look at other monumental edifices in the country. They are part of a cultural and architectural civilization. It's all part of it. The fact of the matter is that maybe around this time, the amount of money that we should allocate to it, we must find certain areas where we think it can meet the needs of Ghanaians. But the very fact that we're building a cathedral itself, that itself is not a crime. It's not something that people can even blame anybody for that. Dr. Martin,
yes, sir.
we have no, Nana Akufo-Addo had not even thought of building any cathedral. Okay. But since independence, even negating the idea that we are building a cathedral, are we still not? Why do we still find ourselves in this economic poverty? Why? It is because we are not considered industrializing the country. Okay. It's only this government that is bringing one D, one F. Within the NDC, we couldn't have this idea. It never even dropped in their brain. So many years, it never dropped. You see, Nkrumah's factories that he built, they all began to fade out even before Kwame Nkrumah left office.
Right.
Because we forgot through the agri-sector that will feed the agri-based industry. So long before Nkrumah left, his company's factories were all declining. It's only this government that has thought of doing one business. There are more than 100 one business in the country.
I'm not finished. Wait up 1 minute. You're asking me that my question should be, what is the essence of building something that you deem as not important? Well, I just said that maybe you just left your radio or your
I said that.
No, you. I'm talking to you.
I said that the cathedral is part of the government policy of promoting the tourist sector. I said that it's part of it, part of the program agenda. Yes, right.
Has text me saying that my question should be the essence, and I'm a chance. I just asked you that question. So, what is the essence of the cathedral? So maybe you left this phone or came back to the radio just to echo that.
No, I said that. I said that. The essence, the very essence of building the cathedral is part of the government's agenda of promoting the tourist sector. I've said that. It's part of it. They all come to play in future to promote the tourist industry in the country.
Mahama, who is saying what? Oh, okay.
Mahama took $35 million to refurbish Commander Factory. It would have been better to even use that money to build a cathedral as a monumental edifice of country. He took $35 million. to refurbish. Not even build a new one. To refurbish Commander Sugar Factory. It never produces sugar. If you use that $35 million to build a cathedral as a monumental edifice, that would be far better than the Commander Factory. Where did the money go? Where did the money go? $35 million without producing a cube of sugar. Where did it go? All the flyovers. Look at the amount of money they said they used. Look at all the flyovers, the 3 or 4 flyovers. There's no value for money there. There's no value for money there.
Okay.
4 years of doing so, we sit in the country. 4 years of doing so. Doing so even have become a vocabulary in the dictionary.
I've got a question for you. Well, they're saying, well, there's so many cathedrals in the country. We don't need that much because we have more issue. Well,
this is a far superior cathedral.
Okay.
Those ones that have
it's not the magnitude of how good it is. It's all about the fact that whether it's necessary. Somebody's saying
I'm saying that this monumental cathedral, is part of the government policy to promote the tourist sector. Those ones we already have. They are minute ones. People don't consider them as cathedrals.
He built it as some sort of appreciation for his sole wish to become a president one day after trying
all the cathedrals you have in Ghana, they are incomparable. We cannot compare them to what another has conceived. They are incomparable. And this is a non-denominational one. This one is a non. The difference is that this one is a non-denominational one.
To say thank God for the 3 consecutive times each try with his ambition of.
And Ghanaians, what are they like? Ghanaians are going to vote for the NPP again. They know it. That's why they've been talking so much. It won't take them anywhere. So all Ghanaians are fools for voting MPP, and we are going to win again. When they went to court, they could not even arrange the figures for court. They couldn't. Are you there, Dr. Morton? They couldn't even arrange. When we give Asiedu Katia was giving calculator to check, he couldn't even check it. We want to be Ghanaians to mortgage our lives. Our students have to party like us. They could not even arrange their figures to court. Their figures on court that they won the election. A party like this. I laugh when I hear this. I laugh.
Okay, thank you very much.
I laugh. They are going nowhere. They are going nowhere. Let them talk and use all the ideas. They won't go anywhere. Right. They are losing again. Because Ghanaians do not trust them. Ghanaians do not trust them. $35 million produce nothing.
Sabato, sorry.
We shall use that money to build a monumental cathedral.
Joe is next. Thank you. Oh dear. So, Gabo, when are you going to answer my question? At least for once. Anyway, so Akufo-Addo, who is the man who want to build a cathedral, saying that it's some sort of an appreciative grounds for, being a president finally, and then the man is telling me is meant for tourism purposes as a monument that the country would remember for. Oh, anyway, Joe.
Yeah, Doc.
So at least you get a cathedral coming in to remind people that Ghanaians have a special cathedral.
Yeah.
Will you not be happy to get a cathedral to boast?
No, before I come to that, it is important you help all of us because you are also a Ghanaian. And
but from my question, from the perspective of my question,
no, I'm coming. Let me land, and you know where I'm trying to.
Okay,
what I'm trying to say. When petrol is at 20 cedis, you buy it same way the MPP, the NDC. We are all Ghanaians. So first of all, we need to wear the Ghanaian shirt first. He did make certain claims, which you are Ghanaian and you attest to it, and you should have corrected it.
Okay.
First of all, it is not true that Nanado brought free SHS. It is not true, and you know it. You doctor, you know it. That is the first thing.
I don't know how you want to force issues on that.
No, I'm coming. That is the first one. The second one, you were a Ghanaian. He said John Mahama had used 35 million.
Sometimes you make me feel like a faint-hearted and a coward, honestly.
Have you ever seen the Commander Sugar Factory? Have you ever seen it?
No, I haven't.
But do you know it is there or not? Do you know?
Well, I do know it's there.
So it is there. You attest to it that it. You see, John Mahama.
No, I want you to just go on with your submission.
John Mahama built a factory. The factory is there, and he couldn't get the factory into operation when he exited power. As sensible government, what were you supposed to do? What were you supposed to do? As sensible as you are, now that you're going to build a cathedral, as sensible as you know the unemployment rate in Ghana, what was your mandate? Was it not for you? Was it not for you to get it into operation? Was it not Ghana's money that was used? And you are telling me you are against John Mahama using 35 million to build a factory, but using about 200 million to go and bring stone from Israel. This is the thinking of the intellectual. So, and if you listen to him, you say this kind of party, assuming and saying a Sedun Keta could not even use calculator. Yes, let us admit, let us assume without admitting that he couldn't use the calculator. You who can use a calculator by your thinking, your intellectual ability, you went to bring stones from Israel and spend over 300 million. This is the people we have given power to. You see, when you say certain things, they say your words are this. Look, doctor,
don't worry. I know this is a comparative statement. No problem.
If you live with your father, and your school fees had come, or you've gained admission to university, and your father says he doesn't have money to pay for your university admission, but can have money to go and sleep with a girlfriend, that one is good. And these are the kind of people
help us. We don't have much time left. So if we finish 1 o'clock, if you want to go straight to the point, please.
The point I am trying to make is that we need to be reasonable. And Ghanaians are not stupid. Yes, we were lied to, including the media and all that, aided in this lies and sold Nana Akufo-Addo. We've all made mistakes. Me, I will not be a hypocrite in saying that, yes, in 2016, I saw something good in Nana Akufo-Addo. In one way or the other, I campaigned for him.
Well, so
not that John Mahama was not good. Not that John Mahama
this party
was
is
not
going to
good.
be on 2024. It's still going to be on.
It is in his dreams. Because like I was saying, and you see, Dr. Mott, with all due respect, the way you ended my call the other before Mr. Tegbe came,
I do apologize. I'm sorry,
because I am one person. I always, when you say I should end, I end. It's only when you interject. No. I also want to.
I give you. Okay, let me say the reason why. Because even when I give you, you can go and check it. Even if asked, well, I still apologize. But you realize that when I give you 2 minutes, you
are still taking my time. It's okay. You let me finish, please. It's okay. I don't have any problem. But next time, please, let us give the respect to all of us. The issue is Tegabo can dream, and I think he's dreaming because you see, for all you know, Tegabo last time Mr. Kitiosin was praising him. He came and told us that look, Mr. Kitiosin has done well because he has been writing Bible since the time of Adam, and he has not been recognized by the MPP. So it's in his dream. Now he's thinking.
We have just a few minutes. This man has not spoken, Mr.
Let me land. When Tegabo, he thinks he's speaking for him to be recorded. But you see, the extra time has already been played. This armed robbers government, the extra time has already been played. If he wants to be the captain of the armed robbers gang, that's up to him. The extra time has been played. These people, I am telling you, look, doctor, mark this thing. Mark it. They will try to rig, but even in the rigging, if they don't lose by more than 2 million,
I'm hearing undertone. I'm hearing undertone that we're going to get international security for the next election. I'm not sure. I will bring you all the details if we so have to.
They are going to lose by more than 3 million votes. I am telling you, they are going to lose by
let me speak to Mr. Uswechel, please, and then
they don't have any shame. And he's talking about winning the next election. We think Ghanaians we think like the way they think that they go and export stones from Israel.
You decided to be very nice by talking on a few times, please.
If we're not going
to, could you end for me? I don't want to cut you again.
No,
please.
Last one before I go. These people were going to come to power to import stones from Israel. It shouldn't have gained independence for us. They are crooks.
Okay,
thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so let me get this man. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, doctor.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You decided to be always the last one standing. Have you been listening?
Oh yeah, I enjoy listening to Joe and Angel, Mr. Tegbe.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Normally, I enjoy listening to them because they are my seniors.
Oh, I see. Oh, wow, that's good. Anyway,
Yeah.
you go first. You want to take the last penalty? Sabato, I'll come back to you because you have spoken, but I decided to pick Mr. Chan because
You know what Joe was talking about?
What was he talking about?
A whole president. Like you were a candidate, you won an election, and you be sworn in, and then you are a president. And he went to a church that also the Empress Church. This is funny, but it's when he went to the also Empress Church, also the Emperor presented him. What do you call it? This, doctor, see how you're laughing.
Well,
a president who have lived in UK. In UK, what's not UK? Let me say in African language, what's not in UK?
When it comes to what people want to do with their lives, regardless of how dense they put on themselves, I don't think Drew has no magnitude. See, that's fine.
Doctor, I'm making a point. Then you understand me. And then the so-called software also said,
okay,
this is horn of strength.
Oh, so that's what I'm using.
Doctor, it's funny, but you see.
Well, people have cola nuts thinking they will do better than this thing. So what's the problem? Cola nuts is more smaller than
No. This is where this is where our problem started, because from the day Nanado was sworn in, that was where the problem started, because you know what, he plagiarized his speech, and he also said, God, he said, if you want to make money in my government, go to the private sector. Not knowing it was a lie.
I think the Commander Sugar Factory, one of them, he did apologize, something like that. Was he not, or something he was meant to do? I don't remember, but the man is a human like you and I, man.
Doctor, say he's a human.
We can't always blame him.
Akufo-Addo is not human. Akufo-Addo is criminal.
Oh, you reckon?
Yes, he's a criminal. He's a con man. Yes.
Anyway, Segabo say you're done with your coming to party, and this is never coming before anymore.
That's his own opinion. Don't mind him. Yeah, they've been saying it when NPP came to power in 2000. So the NDC,
they're going to retain power. Especially
they've been saying it.
With
late J. Schmenzer said it in Sunyane.
Would to me 4 and 5 with what's his name? Kenya Japan 4 and playing 4 and 5 the NDC and the NPP, no chance for the NDC.
So Segabo is not happy with the MPP.
Okay.
Their communicators.
So he feels that what he did was worse, so you don't even need in the Ghanaian groups anymore. So.
Doctor, let me. I don't want to forget let me read my point. So after Akufo-Addo collect the name travel by the horn of strength, he came back, and then, as Joe said, they went to Israel, brainstorm to start his own pledge, national cathedral, using our own tax money. Akufo-Addo is a criminal. When they were in opposition, I've been saying this, they used MPP national cortex as collateral for a loan. Now they are, I mean, how? I don't understand how Ghanaians voted for Akufo-Addo.
They don't understand how people voted for Muhammad.
Yeah, but comparing Muhammad to Akufo-Addo is like comparing China phone to iPhone. Doctor, next week.
Okay.
You know what I'm gonna do next week? If you can put Segabo on the line and me, yeah. I am going to use their own budget, 2017. I will quote page by page, because if every budget statement.
He wonder where you're able to fish out your grounds, because at the end of the day, you bring in what do you bring, especially you and Mr. Tegler, you bring in very, very facts, and then we don't even see.
No, I can give it to Mr. Tegler. Yeah, I can give it to Mr. Tegler. Mr. Tegler can deal with him, because
you get these information. Because some of them, it doesn't come within the public domain. It's as if they become very exclusive.
The information.
Yeah, where you get these things go, because I do research and I don't find these things until you bring them to me.
Oh, you don't find it, but when I bring it to them, you amazed.
Even Segabo is marveled at you.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. That is why the whole
one exclusive.
That is why the whole MPP executive, the whole MPP UK, they are afraid of me.
I see.
Yes.
Oh wow! You make my show very easy.
Sorry.
Yeah, because Segabo don't read, because he just pick on, go to social media and then come and just.
Well, he's very attentive. He picks it up as his own, just as his own.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do next week, I will pick their own document, 2000s, and I will code the pages.
And then
I'll code the pages, and I'll code the pages and tell you how the NDC did in 2017. Okay. No, 2016.
All right.
From the old document, not from me, from Baumia, from Kenefurata, from Akufuado. They are in the budget in 2017, but you will see how many dams the NDC built. We built 112 portable dams, and yet it is in their own budget.
But let me tell you this: what's the stance of President Akufo-Addo? One, going to a shrine, or maybe a church with a horn, if there's not as a gift or something to.
The one was desperate to because you remember.
And then comes to build a cathedral. I don't get the two together.
Oh, he went to the church, collected an tribal bank. Says a horn of strength, and after that, he started to build National Cathedral. That is his own pledge. That was his own pledge, his own pledge, and using our own taxpayers' money, using taxpayers' money. Akufo is a criminal. Okay. Remember in 2018 budget, they said they are going to build National Cathedral, and they were not going to use government for the government coffers. So they would do individual will donate churches and look at what's happening now in 2021, 2022. But they use our own money to build a national cathedral. Doctor, how?
Oh yeah,
how can a whole president do that?
As Gabo explained to me, that is for monuments of memorable events or whatever it is. I think there are more important things to deal with. I must be very honest. Cathedral is there, but if the situation on the ground at the moment, I think it has to do with mispriorities, to be honest. So
remember, I told you some weeks back that the cathedral, that national cathedral, is going to take us 10 years to finish building it. I told you.
Let's see how it goes. I pray.
And recent statement from the CEO or something that was awful. Reverend talking about national data is trended. How? But Joe said we have commercial sugar factory. You didn't touch it. You didn't know about commercial factory, and you are using our own money to create a nonsense national cathedral.
Let me ask you this: don't you think we have a problem of continuity in the sense that a government comes in, starts something, another country, they don't continue, they start this?
What you're talking about is true. It's true. Yeah, it's true.
At least when you build the national cathedral to the instrumental level, you can continue to the top.
Who's going to continue the next in this government? Doctor.
Oh dear, man. Today,
just let me leave you and let others come. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Anyway, are you done, Mr. Ose?
I'll come back.
Oh, I'm nearly done. Maybe you have to do next week. Go get the fun as usual.
No problem.
I'll host you both on program. Thank you very much, sir. You have a good
Thank
day.
you. Thank you.
All right. So finally, I'm going to get a Sabato.
You've been placed on hold.
And we'll see how it goes.
Oh, I thought I was the last one to come.
No, Sabato, he has not spoken before you.
Oh, maybe I'll come after Sabato then.
Yeah, I know you normally get the last word. Hello, Sabato.
Hello, doctor.
Yeah, I was calling you, but you. All right, go on. You wanted to say something. That's why you're calling you.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to say that I also our deputy communication officer, UK, shouldn't be wasting his time on Segago to banter with him or to bring him. No, Segago is somebody we have known for some time now. After he spoke for the NPP, nothing will say that it will fit him, but clearly he knows we are in a crisis. Segago himself knows that Akufo-Addo is the bad ever president Ghana has produced. Segago knows that
Akufo-Addo see president.
Yeah, Segago knows that Akufo-Addo is doing family employment.
I don't think so.
Segago knows that we are going backwards. For sure, he knows, but he cannot come to your radio and say those kind of things from his background. So clearly, you normally come and defend. But when Segago say that Akufo-Addo has introducing 1D, 1F, at the moment, how was our unemployment rate? The unemployment rate they came when NDC was in power. It's at balloon. So for you to bring in all these things that NAPCO, everything, yes, so the unemployment rate is higher. So clearly, if Ghanaians were bold enough to vote NDC out in 2016, where, doctor, at that time, the cedi to the dollar was 3 cedis, 72 pesos, where a cement by that time was sold 28 cedis, where a petrol of a gallon was bought 14 cedis, where that time, like I did mention, $1 to the cedi was just a 3 cedis, 72 pesos, where our public debt was 122 billion Ghana cedis. With all these things, Ghanaians voted NDC out. And how do you justify yours when at the moment we are buying petrol 60 cedis and above? Where cement has been announced now going to 75, some areas 75 cedis. Doctor, are you there?
I am here. You're live on air.
How would the Segago justify the borrowing that has ballooned up to 540 billion Ghana cedis at the moment? How would Segago justify just a mill, corn previously when NDC left office? It was like 80 cedis. Now, almost 200 cedis per bag. How would Segago justify the amount of the money that you need to find before you can acquire a bag of cement? At the moment that I said it's going up to 75 cedis.
Okay.
So if you say that
we have only 5 minutes, I want to share with just 2.
Yeah, I'm coming. Before I land, so I know why Segago was saying, "Oh, we are not going out from why? Because they have the Supreme Court at their back. They have a referee who is there to serve their interests. But with that, the Ghanaians will still vote the MPP out. Those are the reasons why I told you that you found out that the NDC lawyers were at the gathering just to see how they can prepare themselves for the upcoming election 2024. We want to organize ourselves and make sure that we put things in place that will ensure the victory for NDC. And like I said, what we need in our side is to unite and make sure that we capture power 2024 and beyond. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you
for the opportunity.
All right. Joe, do I get or say Tekwe? All right, Mr. Tekwe finished, so I get Joe last week. Or Joe says he doesn't have much to say, so go on.
Thank you,
Okay,
Doctor.
so I've got something to read to you. Negabu said, and that Nana Akufo-Addo's government, 1.6 million Ghanaians.
Doctor, please let's leave the jokes out of the program.
Please, 1 minute. Only
Okay.
1.6 million Ghanaians who have roamed in the streets of Ghana have had access to secondary education, manage COVID-19, protect lives. You call this man a bad president, Ghanaians will decide. Maybe 2024. Go on, sir.
It is very unfortunate that we have to put up with jokes when we are trying to have a serious program. The same way that hypocrisy has taken over certain people. The focus is only about staying in power. There is no thought put into what to do to make the country better. That is why he was having that nervous laughter. And I commend Sabato for his advice that he gave to Comrade Osu Chiao, not to bother with him, because Kofi Asante repeatedly only comes to the program to cause distraction. He has nothing to say. He has nothing to say apart from try and throw dust into people's eyes. He knows his audience. He knows the people that will not listen. So that is why he pretends to be playing that game. Anyone in this current moment that will be trying to defend this wrongdoing that's going on under the government has no place to be holding a microphone. It is criminal when there is so much evidence. I mean, who in their right senses starts production before the factory is done? To be talking about Commander Sugar Factory was built, value for money. Has he got any figures? When I come here and I say something, Doctor, I send you documents to back it. Anytime you ask him a question, he's running away. Nobody ever said the factory was not there. The factory was done, and he was talking about only the NPP people were talking about Photoshop. The same thing they did to the UGMC hospital, the same thing they did to the Bank of Ghana hospital, the same thing they did at the Cape Coast hospital, which they went to go and celebrate their independence. Every time something is done, their response is, oh, it doesn't exist, it's Photoshop, because they know people will not pursue to go and find out if it's true or not. This is the problem we have as a country, why I say people should wake up. Hypocrites that are only interested in getting attention and favor should not be hosted. Now, Doctor, you should have corrected him when he spoke about Nana Addo being the one who brought free education. Please, for the integrity of the program. If not, it will get to a point where people will not bother with us. They will think we're a bunch of clowns when things like this go on unchecked. I sent you a clipping of the same Zacchaeus congratulating Mahama in 2014 about free education. The visionary Mahama who started building the school blocks because he knew how this will play out. You think things through with a group of people, and then you know how it's going to play out, and you plan accordingly and start the execution. That is why it was progressive free SHS. But for his ego and arrogance, he tried to implement it before the time. Where are the 350 schools that we were promised within 18 months of coming into power from 2017? We're in 2022. Doctor, can you show me or list 10 of the schools? This is the problem we are dealing with. So when people come and you ask a question and they nervously laugh because they have nothing to say, that is funny. Nothing is funny. Yes, they are planning to rig. Everybody is aware of that. And to correct the ignorance, the court case for the election petition in 2020 was not about NDC producing results. If you want to dedicate a day where we do this playback, yes, we can do that and go through all the points and all the options that were struck out by the SC bench. So we can look at it again and invite legal brains to look at that to see what went wrong. Everybody knows what the SC is up to, but people are scared to speak. As for Kofi Asante, he cannot say anything different because when he does, he will be erased, and he's aware of that. So he has to sing the same hymn.
Well, so my concern
he knows.
Priority.
Kaka from Ejura was an NPP activist. When he dared to speak about development in his area, Kaka's funeral has been had. It was an ignorant statement, and you are fully aware of that. The person who initiated the project said he was a personal promise between him and his God.
What his thoughts are concerning the cathedral.
Personal promise between him and his God, and then he is talking now about it's a government policy. It was never a government policy. It was never a government policy. It was a personal promise, which has been repeatedly said personal promise. There was nowhere that was done. As we are here now, all people that are listening should just be aware of snakes and hypocrites that are there. Yes, it is for the safety of the citizens. It is to rescue Ghana in 2024. All machinations should be watched closely with eagle eyes. And you should match everywhere there's misinformation. Doctor, I think this is a challenge to you, that when you hear something that you know outright is a lie, you need to point it out on air so that it does not tarnish the image of your program.
I don't believe it.
Well, do you? Because I sent you a clipping, verifiable.
Yes,
straight away, which you should have questioned him on. You could have questioned him on.
There's a lot of people sent me to put together. I wouldn't have much time to look at all that. Anyway, I do apologize if I didn't see it. But at least with the issue of the cathedral, I was looking at what he thinks.
The cathedral we spent over 200 million on. We spent over 200 million on. And there's no cathedral. There's nothing. Not even a block 1 inch off the ground, Doctor. If that is not a fraud, what else is?
Oh, yeah. Anyway.
Here's the thing. Let's deal with truth. If you are saying that you believe that Zacchaeus introduced free SHS or free education in Ghana, then please state it for the record that you, Dr. Morton, believe that. So that at another day when we come back on the program, we can take it as another conversation.
Okay, let's talk about that on Friday, please.
Are you stating that for the record that you believe that Zacchaeus introduced free SHS?
Well, it's not up to me to tell you. I mean, I have to find out what the grounds are. So, hello, Joe.
Okay, but the records are there.
Okay. Yes,
have a live weekend.
Yeah. So I did indicate to you that it is important we correct the mistakes for all the lies they try to put out there. My issue has been with Gabo saying NDC did not solve Doomso.
Okay.
Now my question to Gabo, and if you can give him time to come and answer or whatever.
As I'm
if
talking
NDC
to you,
did not solve,
he's calling. So
if NDC did not solve Doomso,
I will see.
If the NDC did not solve Doomso, how come the NPP goes about saying John Mahama brought in more energy than we needed and we are paying for it? Are you getting the argument?
I'm getting the argument.
So if the NDC did not solve Doomso, how come we have excess energy? Now, he is the master of English. You only have excess when what you need, you've had abundance of it, you've had enough of it. So if there was Doomso, how did we have excess energy? If you can answer that. You see, it's very important because the lies that we throw out there, this is a very educative program. And so we need to be truthful. It is not just because we want political power. And so we have to throw out people things out there. We are watching now what they had in 2016, because like I said, we all follow the lies. I will not be a hypocrite in saying that I did not believe some of the lies they said. We all followed. Even some NDC, diehard NDC members believed Nanado was, brought from heaven, and so he was going to change Ghana. But in going so that some people can also come in, I think the most important thing is we would match achievement to achievement. We will see who built this, who built that. If someone building a factory is useless to be voted out of power, and the one who went to import stones is important, then the results would await us in 2024. If we voted for people to come and
you want to come and answer, so let me get it.
Yeah, if we voted for people to go and be buying stones from Israel, their conscience will tell them and say, Gabo, if you live in UK and you in this energy crisis, you want Boris Johnson to go and buy stones from Israel so that you enjoy energy crisis, it's up to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Right. Thank you, Joe. At least you've made it easier. At least I can get back to this.
There's a motion.
Yes, sir. Joe said he wants to come and answer.
There's a motion?
Yeah, I'm here. Joe
says am I on air?
You're live on air. Joe wants you to come and answer.
You see your last speaker calling the president Zacchaeus? They can use all kinds. You see, he wants people to take him serious. When I sit here and I laugh, he gets angry. When I see him and I laugh, he gets angry. He wants people to take him serious. Look at the way he's addressing the president, Zacchaeus. Look at the way he's addressing the president.
My friend Kofi Asante, focus on the issues. You're not here to address
Look
me.
at this nonsense. Nonsense.
Yeah.
What has that got to do with the man's performance?
You're an ignorant man, and you have very, very little sense. That's why you come on air and be saying things like that. If you come on air, address the issues. No, yeah, I will go off, but he has no right to be addressing me as a person. He should focus on the issue at hand.
Okay,
how I address the president is my choice.
I'm picking you up because Segabu. Hello. Are you there, Mr. Asante?
I'm there.
Please,
that's why I laugh. That's why I keep on laughing.
You, so please
look at the way they speak. Who will take me serious? Who? As the president hasn't got name?
Can I ask you a question, please?
They are refusing to recognize he's still the president.
You remember Mama said he was the most insulted president. You remember that?
He was what?
He was the most insulted president.
I cannot remember everything that somebody has said somewhere, but let me say this. Let me say this. In public, during the campaign in public, Mama said that Nanado is shorter than all of you. Even some of the best were angry. I listened to him live. Mama still went ahead. Then Nanado was borrowing some money, loan against the future that he's shorter than all of you who will die before. Look at this. And that last speaker over there, calling Nanado Zacchaeus, as if the president hasn't got a name. And you want me to take you serious? You want me to take, when I sit here and I laugh about your comments, you're not happy. You're calling the president Zacchaeus. This is a nonsense.
No. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining in the conversation. It's gone past the time that I assumed we were going to finish. I do appreciate your calls. I do appreciate your text messages. And then hopefully we will get in another time. I'm very hungry. It's Friday, man. You guys have kept all my time gone. And
no, we're still within time, Doctor. We started at 10:30, so it's only 6 more minutes to go.
You want to do your NDC campaign, right?
I'm not even just the NDC campaign, Doctor. I am sounding on air that the behavior of Kofi Asante, which for the past 3 weeks has started turning this program into something else. He comes on air, uses words like nonsense, and then he has a problem with somebody else. He is not the repository of wisdom, and he's not a standard for anyone to adhere to. So he cannot say how people should speak. Yes, he has a problem with panelists saying things, and he decides to use words like that. Panelists have problems with the president that they pay with their taxes, and they describe him. He needs to focus on answering your questions. If he has nothing to say, maybe he shouldn't be coming here. But for his hypocrisy and ass-kissing that he's indulging in, the world is watching him. Posterity will be the judge of him for the things that he's supporting just for personal.
I like to hear you shake body. I get money, and then you bring my uncle. I swear I lie. So would you make sure you don't go sorry? Forget I they come to spend so much.
All right, thank you guys. Do have a good weekend. This
you too, Doctor.
Dr. Morton. Have a good weekend. Bye.
Have a good weekend, Doctor.
Good.